clean y'all off there.
Oh, yes, that is much better. Hi, everyone. How's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Excuse me. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Also, RayThaxIDTH domain name, and this is not financial advice. Everyone comment, where's Justin? Justin has not been here for a while. Okay. We have a bunch of stuff to go over today. We've got a space between Lori Brenner and David Yu. David Yu was recently on the podcast of Matt Gondek. Matt Gondek had gone on and interviewed David. I don't know why I'm talking like this. He had interviewed David about a couple days ago. It had released yesterday, and they were going on and they were talking about different things. The two most big notable things was David talking about how they were supposed to be on a very big exchange, most notably FTX. He didn't name drop FTX, but we can all guess which one it was. And the other thing that was kind of brought to light today was saying that when some of these things were going for tens of thousands or even six figures, David said, like, okay, well, how are people going to feel when they come into the app and they see something that, you know, is hundreds or thousands of dollars? They might not stick around. So what they did was they increased the mint number sizes, and they said, okay, hey, and I remember David saying this, I think it was on a community update, and they had said, hey, we have we make these prices for a reason because this is what we believe that they're worth. Marvel Mighties, $13. Lightsabers, $60. Now, obviously, the lightsabers are down at, like, I think the commons are like 25, give or take. I think Sean from Comics and Crypto has almost like 1% of those Luke Skywalker lightsabers. He's got a lot. But anyway, they are there for a reason. And when you saw some Marvel Mighties have like 28,000 mints, well, they weren't really meant to go to $80 or $100. They were meant to be, you know, the $13, $25, whatever they were. That's, you know, you had that with the first Marvel Mighty set. You did not have that with Captain Carter because there was only one of her. But you had that with the Eternal Marvel Mighties. Now, the Eternal Marvel Mighties, I feel like nobody really enjoyed that movie. I mean, I watched it and it was interesting. And they make references to it in, you know, all the other shows. Like in She-Hulk, you see her scrolling online. What is this thing that popped up in the Indian Ocean? You know, it's the end of the Eternals movie. Speaking of which, Ant-Man did not get good reviews. It had gotten a not good thing on Rotten Tomatoes, got a rotten score, got a Rotten Tomato, which is weird because everyone that I talked to said it was better than Thor: Love and Thunder, and Thor: Love and Thunder got a fresh. So it's really interesting. I guess Bob Iger had toyed around that anyone could be fired, such as Kevin Feige. I don't think they would actually ever fire him. I think that's just kind of noise, whatever. He's obviously, what he's done can't be replicated ever again. But I do believe that we get a Marvel Mighty set probably next week. I was hoping for like the end of this week, but we to coincide with the movie. But we have the Chucky doll that comes with his bride Tiffany. That'll be really cool to get. And we came out with a Medium article today. There's only like a little over 2,000 of them. There's less than 3,000 of them. So they go and they say, just get this. It's $1, it's one drop. There's no blind box or anything. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then obviously we got a couple comics, but then, and then they also mentioned the Disney Interactive. It is Belle. She's on the card. And David retweeted it, and I guess there's something with music in there. So having something with music would be really cool too. I mean, a lot of the Disney stuff has music. You see the, what do you see? You see that, what were they called? They're not the Marvel Mighties. They're like the Disney Mighties. They're the villains. They have music in that when you click on it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty dope. And the music is pretty cool, but they'll obviously continue with that on this drop as well. And then, of course, we have Lamborghini. I'll make a video about this tomorrow. There were so many people that were going crazy over this, not just in our community. I posted on Twitter that there's somebody that I know that's made like a video or two on Veve, Arya Realty Investments over on YouTube, really big into Earth 2. Has a couple of the collectibles, has a little bit of Omi, but really not in the community. Wouldn't really call himself a fanboy or a Veve fam. just is in it for the investment. He says like, "Hey, my Twitter's blowing up with my crypto Twitter is blowing up with Veve X Lamborghini. What is this?" I was like, "Yeah, I told you they announced it." It's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." I was like, "How'd you forget?" It's like, "I don't know. Hadn't paid attention to Veve in a while." I was like, "Okay." So he goes and he messages me that. I go online. Hello K had retweeted it saying like, "Hey, no other company is better about getting Web3 into NFTs, specifically officially licensed NFTs, than Veve." It was retweeted by pretty much everyone. CoinDesk, the market cap, Yahoo Finance was on there. It was like 9 different big brands. I have the screenshots on my phone, obviously not on the tablet. The tablet we're going to use in about 23 and a half minutes because that is when Lori Brenner is going to interview David Yu. Type of range of questions that we're seeing, I'm not sure. I'd imagine there would be a little bit of everything. Lori's a fantastic interviewer. She's just as good as me. And sometimes she asks those questions. Like a few months back when Al was on the Queen's Court, David Yu had stopped by and she had asked him, "What's the deal with Pokemon?" And then obviously at that time he had announced that they were in discussions with Pokemon. Is there going to be a follow-up? Is there going to be a follow-up? Dude, oh God, I don't think they would announce it on Twitter Spaces, but I mean, they had announced enough this week. I mean, it's the Lambo in general. So there is 4 of them. I do believe only 3 of them, or maybe all 4 of them, are going to be in the Veve 500 because there are 4 racers. I could have sworn I heard one of them was like an Ecto 1 or a DeLorean. But there are 4 Lamborghinis, and they are pretty dope. Be advised, Lamborghini did come out with an NFT themselves, like last year or like 2 years ago, and it bombed hard. Why? Because what most people in NFTs do is they try to go out to the normies of the world and say, "Buy this digital collectible," and everyone's, "I don't know what the fudge that is," so they don't do it. And what happens? They fall flat on their face. Veve, whether this was calculated or a happy accident, they go to Web3 and say, "Hey, buy this officially licensed IP," and it always works. You know how like when wolves are going in and zoning in on this like herd of, I don't know, like moose or whatever, and the moose try to go and weave in and out of other meese. Meese, is that it? And it never works. It never works. Wolves always get that. Veve is always head on with this. And again, happy accident or not, I'm very excited for it. What is the price going to be? We don't know. We'll probably get that maybe on Friday. We'll get that Medium article for Sunday. I was really hoping that we would get the Veve 500 before this. I do not know if we do. The announcers were announced on that. The Veve 500 is going to have announcers. I think it's going to be the Joker and it's going to be Homer. That's what it looked like the other day. That is dope. I don't know this. I'm so pumped for this video. And guys, did you see the video? Let's take a look at the video from from Veve where they announced it. It is badass. It was probably one of the best done videos. Actually, I will say this. The video that they used to announce Lamborghini, well, I shouldn't say announce. They announced that back in November, and there was no video. It was just huzzah. The video that they used today, that they released, was the best video that Veve has ever released, bar none. The music, the feel of it. Oh God! All right, hang on. Oh yeah, girl, look at that. I don't know if I can watch it with music. In fact, I'm gonna go and play that without music. But the music was really hella cool. Like, oh, take a look at those sexy beasts. Now, you will notice that none of these match what was announced at DCon. I think what happened at DCon is that they're gonna, yep. What happened at DCon is that they just picked a random Lambo. I think Alex had to pick it out, whichever one he wanted to drive. That's what they announced. But yeah, that got me pumped. I was like, oh my God, that was. And again, yeah. That being said, if you take a look at the vault, like the value of your vault, the value of people's vaults happened to drop a bit today. Not because I'll tell you why. It's just because people are probably just selling in order so they can get gems, because people are speculating that the price is probably going to be like $100, maybe even higher. I mean, if they, it is blind box, right? Blind box? Let's take a look. It was, yeah, it's blind box. So it's probably not going to be that big. I mean, the Aston Martins, those were heavy. The Aston Martins were like heavy, heavy. And there was one of them that was like $1,000 for the Aston Martin. This one, obviously, is not that. This one is a blind box. They don't. I mean, be advised that Aston Martin had a couple different drops. They had a couple different things. The Lamborghini, this is only the first drop. And again, not their first appearances on the blockchain. They had a failed drop. Like you, I mean, again, there was a lot of other companies that had failed drops. And this is why I think that Hello Kitty, Nickelodeon, and everything under the sun that's at Recur is going to come to Veve. Why? When was the last drop that Recur did? When was the last, like, and I, I've I never got a pass. I never got into the hype. And now there are some people that made a decent amount of money with Recur. There's some people that sold their passes super high. There are some people that sold the Rugrats NFTs super high, or got airdrops or whatever. But yeah, and shout out to those people that did that. It means you're really good at what you do. Most people did not, however. So, and again, I never touched it. There's zero reason why companies like Hello Kitty and Nickelodeon would go and stay with Recur when there's no money being made, when you see all of the excitement around this. The marketing is, I think, done the right way. The only thing that I wish, again, Omi did go up today, but it is not, I don't believe it's from this, because Akomi was not mentioned in any of these articles. I wish it was, but it wasn't. And I think part of the reason why it wasn't mentioned in this was because there's still no utility. There's still really no way to buy it. You can on Bit4x or Ascendex, and it's just not something that's readily available. Omi did go up, but I think it went up not because of anything that was announced, which back in the day, if they would have Omi in the article, like, oh yeah, Veve's main token, Akomi, can be bought here. And it's just, it would pump a lot because of those articles. Now, it didn't pump that much because of it. It was conspicuously left absent. But if you take a look, you can't even see that. Okay, maybe you can. Bitcoin's up 9% on the day, Ethereum up 7%, BNB up 7%, XRP 4, Cardano 5, Dogecoin 6, probably the entirety of the top 10, actually the entirety of the top 20, with the exception of, oh no, DAI is never mind, that's a stablecoin. The entirety of the top 20 that is not stablecoin is up. It's crypto. I sold my Bitcoin, made like 150, like $200, whatever. So I had a little bit of Bitcoin. I sold that today. Made a little bit of scratch. When it goes back down, I'll buy again. I don't know what's going to happen. Omi did, however, go up. I think it only went up like 5 or 6%. Let me just check that real quick. Go on the CoinGecko and take a look. I do have some bump token now. Yeah, Omi has about $820,000 in volume on the day, and we are up about, Omi outperformed Bitcoin. It's a Christmas miracle. Wow, Omi outperformed. Wow, it outperformed everything. Yeah, that's fantastic. We outperformed the top 20. I love this game. We broke above the 009194. Like I'm so happy I bought. So happy I bought. Yeah, we got. Are we going to break through the or the 001? Are we gonna, probably not. Pumping 7% in it's not even 24 hours. Literally, I don't know, like 12, 13 hours. Pumping that much, it's good. And obviously, when we have actual utility, actual things announced, it'll be even better. But again, I don't believe that was because of Lamborghini. I think that was really just because of the fact that maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know. Both had a really good day, so it could be one or the other. Anyway, oh wow, lots of comments. All right. Bill Gardner saying, first like, let's go. Lots of marketing going on. Noticing articles from Yahoo Finance, CoinDesk, and others talking about Veve Lambo. Heck yes, girl. Wes saying, hopefully Lori asks the questions the community want answered. I mean, be advised, Lori doesn't have a whole ton of time. She doesn't have like a 3-hour thing stacked. I think it's like an hour and a half. But again, David's doing a lot of these more interviews now, and he did delay for a bunch of reasons. Probably because of something like this, like they wanted Lambo announced first, or some other reasons. I don't know. And so I had to interview Mac on deck. So I mean, I've already had David on 3 times. I don't know if it would do any good to get him on again, especially after he just dropped 2 interviews. I mean, I'd always love him on. I love that man. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be good questions asked. Veve Wheels says, "What up, fam? We kicking ass. Hell yeah." Beerman 2003 saying, "What's up, fam? Just made it home in time to catch this live discussion. Let's go." Immutable Node says, "At West, she already submitted all the questions she's going to ask, and the only pressing one I imagine will be about the common Spider-Man sitting in a bunch of wallets." Yeah, David's never one to shy away from questions. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a new thing going forward. Hey, ask me, submit all your questions beforehand. If that's a stipulation for him coming on like my next podcast, I don't know if I could do that. Again, I don't really prepare my questions. I don't, it's kind of just off the cuff. So I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. I don't know. I feel like when things are scripted and it's like, okay, here's the questions. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not as authentic for me. But obviously, like I said, Lori Brenner is as good of an interviewer as me, if not better. So yeah, let's go. Amito says, "And she already said that if he can talk about it, he will, but if he can't talk about it, he can't talk about it. So I doubt he's going to go in depth." We'll see. I think we'll be surprised at some of the questions that get answered. Darth Chaos says, "Hello there." Oh, hello there. Oh, General Darth Chaos. Digital Snowflake says, "Meow." Wes saying, "We're going to be listed on FTX. Source, trust me, bro." I mean, it was from David. I mean, if you could choose to believe him or not to believe him, I choose to believe him. Why? Because I know him and he's a truthful guy. Smarty Pants saying, "Was good." Yo, was good, Smarty Pants. BJN 1962 says, "Do you think Mr. Yu will address the common Spider-Man FUD issue?" Probably. I really don't see the huge issue. So yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't, if that's a question that's being asked. Milham saying, "Hey, buddy, Lambo time." Oh, dude, Milham, I saw your Valentine's Day post the other day with the poopy butt, and it was so great. You guys look so cute. But yeah, it's Lambo time. I wish I had glasses. What the heck? Oh, it's my friend coming home. Darth Chaos says, "I never listen to reviews." Same here, my guy. GS says, "Hi, guys." Hi, GS. GS reminds me of the GS ball from Pokemon. They never went anywhere with that storyline. They dropped it off to Professor Oak, the GS ball, and it was supposed to be a Celebi thing, but they never went anywhere with it. Bill Gardner saying, "I do not like Thor Love and Thunder or New Black Panther." Okay, so you might not like the new Black Panther, but there are only 101 of those Black Panther. Okay, so we have to talk about sales for a minute. So yeah, there's only 101 of those Black Panther Wakanda Forever posters. The floor is 1,000. After that gets bought, the new floor is 2,500. What's it gonna do? I don't know. I should just buy it. And it was 15. I already bought it for 500, sold it for 1,200. I don't know. If the person decides to sell for like 800, which would be stupid, because again, one already sold for 1,200, which was mine. I'd just immediately list it again for like 1,700. Still $800 below the floor. Anyway, there's a resale. Again, people are stacking these gems for Lambo. I don't know if anyone really knows, has any inkling of how much it'll be. It is a blind box, so I don't expect it to be super outrageous crazy, although it is a super outrageous crazy brand. So who knows? But either way, somebody listed their sub 100 reso today, season 1, only 1,700 of these bad boys, 1,750. They listed it for 4K, actually $3,999. I will repeat that. The floor of that is like 1,900, $2,000. A sub 100, which in my opinion should be, I don't know, like 8K. Sub 100 was listed for 4K, and it got sold within like 6 minutes. I didn't have the gems for it. I texted a friend like, "Hey, I'll go buy it right now." They were about to buy it, and they couldn't. They missed it. They were doing something. But yeah, this is how serious Lamborghini is. Somebody, which I think was a mistake, selling a sub 100 reso for well under what it should have gone for. That to me should be like 8K. And they sold it for 4. And again, why I know it was undervalued, because it didn't hang around the market for 12, 14 hours. Literally 6 minutes after it was listed, boom, gone. Just absolutely bananas. And and there's no other reason to floor a collectible like that. Maybe the person thought that they had another opportunity somewhere in the app that I wasn't privy to. But again, I feel like I'm Sauron with this stuff. Like I see everything, not because I'm looking at everything, but because people send stuff to me. So the fact that they floored that at such a low price is ridiculous to me. I mean, if you wanted to go and sell it, and you wanted to say buy Omi, sell it for an appropriate price. If you want to make sure it sells, yeah, put it for 6K. It might have taken a half a day, but Omi is not. I shouldn't say Omi's not going anywhere. It was over 7% last 12 hours. But go and wait. Like Omi's not going to go 8x in the next 2 days. I don't think they're going to list on exchanges, and that's the only thing that utility's going to roll out anytime soon. I think that the crypto to gem is going to be here either end of the quarter or early next quarter, because there's be advised, guys, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that have crypto to gem. It's all, they're just working out the bugs, but they have it already, and the liquidity pool for that gem pool is already building, so that's good. Wes says BFN. No, I think he will talk about it. He'll talk around it. We'll see what he says. Bill Garn says Ragnarok was my favorite Thor movie. That was really good. Ragnarok was so good. I love that Hulk was in a lot of different stuff. He was in She-Hulk. He was in Thor. He's in the Avengers movies. And finally, we had Mark Ruffalo back in the day say, yeah, I don't think that Universal likes money very much. They don't play well with others. And then now, obviously, they are coming out. I think it's the World Breaker Hulk or World War Hulk. World War Hulk, I think, is happening. They do have a new Thunderbolt Ross. Thunderbolt Ross is Harrison Ford. Apparently, he's just there to do a job. He doesn't really care about the MCU, but it's Harrison Ford. I'm not complaining. Be advised, I don't know if they're going to do that Red Hulk storyline with him. He is going to most likely be president of the United States in Captain America 4. They're going to, I don't know which way they're going. They're going to have a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, it's all going to lead into Secret Wars. Can't wait for it. Mutable Nodes is correct. Bogart says, I'll be collecting all 4 of these Lambos. Hey-oh. I have every single car that we have, with the exception of like 2 of the Aston Martins. The one of 7 I'll never get. And then the one of like 500 I don't have either. That's a very good one. And I don't have it. So I have all of the cars, I think, except for those 2. The other ones I do have. Why? I can see racing happening in the VV-verse. And again, I could be wrong. I've been hodling these cars forever, but that's one thing. Those are some of the things that I don't sell. Energy, what up? Bill Gar saying, I like how people were like, this isn't marketing for this PR. All the articles, people complain about everything. This is marketing. This is exactly what we needed. This is what people should, and Dan Chabel had talked about this before on my podcast. He was going and saying that, you know what you need? You need to go and search how many journalists were writing articles about whatever it is that you're doing drops for, whether it's Chucky, whether it's Thor. It's like, hey, this movie that you wrote an article about, this is what we're doing. We're dropping digital collectibles. Can we smash that like button? 94 people here, only 20 likes. I think it'd be really cool for you. It helps support the channel. Anyway, I think that's what they kind of did here. They just went to some of the people. They might not even have gone to Yahoo or CoinDesk or any of these places. They might have just gone to the writers of these companies saying, hey, here's something you should really write about. Why? And, for XYZ. And that might have been what happened. I don't know. Bogart says, VV500 shows pick of 3 Lambos and 1 DeLorean. Dude post on Twitter. Okay, gotcha. That's what it was. I forgot. Yeah, people complain about everything. Ricky Tan, Wildfire says, what does the shirt say, man? It says, Bounty Hunter. Oh, my legs. Oh, God. I did legs yesterday. It burns. The Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter Depot. Forgot what it said for a second. MBZ says, Randy, are you worried about Omi at all? We're still mooning on that? I mean, we're up 7% on the day. And be advised, I bought a little bit more. I have 153.3 million Omi. Guys, I might get to 154, maybe 155. Once I get to 155, I'm good there. I will, that extra 5 million Omi, for the 150, 155, I will probably sell that on the way up to a penny. I still want to have 150 million Omi by the time we reach a penny. That'd be $1.5 million. That'd be nice. So yeah, and anything that I'm buying now past 150 is excess. Be advised, the bump token that I got a couple $100 worth of bump token. I think I have like 9 or 10K bump. That is, the trading volume is like $4,000 a day. It's like less than a $10 million market cap. But me and Crypto Rain were talking about that the other day, and he's like, listen, you know what stop loss trading is, right? Like, yeah, absolutely. People do that in the stock market all the time. And he's like, okay, well, this company does that with smart contracts. Everyone's going to be using that in the future. And I was like, okay, well, wait, why would you need to? He's like, because it's more efficient, it's faster, and it allows you to protect your downside better and get more gains on the upside through whatever auto bidder algorithm that they have. And all technical, but yeah, if that catches on, and there's no other company that I can see right now that's doing stuff like that. If that catches on, that could go from $10 million to $1 billion company, which is, can't do the math, it's 100x. That could do that literally in a couple weeks. I'm not saying a couple weeks from today. I'm saying from a couple weeks from when it catches on. It might not catch on ever, but it could. And when it does, if it does, it'll go moon. It could be in 2 years from now. It could be in a few weeks or a month from now. But that will, I believe that will catch on. I didn't put a whole bunch of money into it. I just put a couple $100 into it. And if it does, okay, boom. I go and I'll put that into more Essence. I'll put that into more Omi. I'll put it into more Fart token. I don't know. But either way, that's what I did. I'm just letting y'all know my moves. I am starting to diversify a little bit. I did sell a little bit of Bitcoin today. Made like $150, give or take. And if it goes back down, I'll buy more. Just doing that arbitrage right now. My collectible says Lambo, but yeah, Omi to the moon. MBZ says Aston Martin's still bigger. Just the design is more classy, high end. They're both great, and I think we're lucky to have both of them. I'm gonna make my way over the spaces right now. But yeah, I think we're lucky to have both. All right, Lori Brenner, where you at, girl? Planet Vampires, my collectibles. You posted that. I heard you yelling it in your excited voice in my head. I love you guys. All right, we about to be on it. We about to be on it. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Yeah, this party started on a Saturday night. Sorry. Perfect time to ask live. Recur was very profitable for me. Got lucky. There you go, Digital Snowflake. My man, get that bread. My collectible is laughing. Felipe Bees, I think the pump is because of the CoinDesk article about the Lambos. It could be a combination of both. The market was up today in general, so there's really no way to tell. Wes says, bruh, Omi did not outperform Bitcoin today. What are you smoking? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I literally just showed it before. Omi price up 7.4%. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bitcoin's up 9. No, you're right. Wes, you're right. Wes is correct. I'm wrong. Wes, +1 Wes, +10 Wes. Bitcoin outperformed. It is 9.5% up. Only up 7.4%. That's my bad. Wes is correct. I'm wrong. Wes is smart. I'm dumb. Mindalox says, what's up, Randy? Hope they've been good. Bro me. Oh, it's been very good. Oh, okay. We're good. Hold on. Come on, Lori. Okay. Moving on. Bring in the good vibes, Randy. I'm trying. I'm trying, Cool Mo. Josh says, did David say FTX? He didn't say FTX. He said a exchange that went down. Yeah. I thought he said the exchange they were working on went under. Several exchanges went under in 2022. It's be advised, David and Dan are not going, and they're not knocking on doors asking exchanges to list Omi. Exchanges are going to Veve. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Well, so Josh, correct. He never said FTX. That's just Randy's opinion. I'm just gonna say it's not my opinion, and then I'll leave it at that. Marvelous Pack says like button smashed. Amazik says, when does the AMA start? In like 1 minute. 1 minute away. Wes says, get to 169 million Omi. That's too much. It depends. When Essence comes out for Earth 2, if Omi's still down here, you bet your bottom dollar I'm getting there. You best bet your patoot. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Ooh. Me and Lori, the only ones here. Gotta send a heart to Lori Brenner. We out here. Represent. Okay. All right. Moving on. What is your Lambo mint price and second mark? Oh, geez. I don't know. Oh, wow. Now there's a whole bunch of people here. We got a bunch of people here. I'm super excited. We got Veve Magic. We got Foster Hill, Jake Hill XRP. We got Fam Bam, Danny the Bull, Mr. What Are Those, Jimbo Lee Lingo, Sanji, Prince Toby, Pixel Trader. We got a whole bunch of people here. I'm super excited. Okay, yeah. So my price prediction for Lambo. I mean, $100 is a lot, especially if they're. I don't know the mint sizes. If I had the mint sizes, I would definitely be able to tell. Now, these companies might want to, do have a measuring stick contest with each other. They might want to swing their Johnson around, and when Aston Martin says, "Yeah, we have a one of 7, we have a one of 500," Lambo might go and say like, "Okay, well, our secret rare is going to be one of 499," and give them the middle finger, tell them to suck their Johnson about 1,000 times, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, we're going to come out with a one of 5. Get that bread." I think that is possible. I mean, they are exclusive. Nobody poor is driving a Lamborghini. They want that upper tier of hyper successful people, mostly men. And what do you have to do to get a Lamborghini? Oh, David Hughes here. David Hughes here. We have the Queen's co-host. We have the Queen's Court is a co-host. I don't know. Followers. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh. Eva. Eva's here. Oh, Dan Charbel's here. Silicone Secure is here. Oh, we got my collectibles in the building. Asian Dan, the Rebel Duck. Yo, Steph. That is my cuz. Yo, Steph is my cousin. I'm so proud of that. Superstar Money. Oh, we got Fat Booty in here. Yo, Mr. Fat Booty is my homie. I don't care who you are. What you mean, as long as you love me. Okay, all right. It starts. Zivez says where? It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter. Lori Brenner. Or search me, and you'll see me on there. Yeah, 169 million will be hard, but I'll see. I love this guy. I love this guy. But I would say market for Lamborghini could probably be, maybe $80 a blind box. And say there's.
Hey, shout out to Will with the NFTs for that great intro. Welcome everybody to the Queen's Court. I am Queen Veve, also known as Lori. So welcome everybody. Tonight, I'm very excited to meet with somebody who needs little introduction to tonight's audience. We have co-founder, CEO of Comey Veve, Mr. David Yu. So welcome, David.
Hello, Queen. Your Majesty. Thanks for having me on your Twitter space tonight.
No, thank you. I know that I have been courting you for quite some time. No pun intended. I think I've been courting you, and we've been trying to get together since Comic-Con, New York. So it's great that we could finally get together. How were your travels?
Yeah, not too bad. So last year was certainly a crazy year, and it was always being set out to do so, that we want to meet the fans face to face, and it was just so exciting to see so many great energy from the community. The amount of fans is just surreal, beyond our expectation. And hopefully this year we will have some more road shows and coming to cities or countries near you.
Excellent. So I'm glad we could get together. So
definitely.
Let's just dig right in. We got a lot to cover tonight.
Oh yes.
Yes, sure. There's so many things going on. I would say when Lambo, but anyways. So, but we'll get to that later. So early on, you used to talk about how you would have, or you would make 4 calls every week, and you would share. I think you would share Apple, Marvel, DC, and you tell us, one you couldn't tell us about. I'm curious, do you still have these calls every week, or at least frequently?
Yeah, I mean, my day pretty starts very, very early, and most of our meeting between me and Dan is set to either Eastern New York time or Los Angeles PST. We, as co-founders and the C-level executive, we do speak to our partners, vendors, licensors on pretty much on a weekly basis or fortnightly. And our whole week is just jam-packed, more than 5 calls. Trust me, we spend countless hours every day on calls with licensors. And my job is to make sure that we get an understanding how the market is and what we're doing and where the market is shifting into. Just keeping our partners and licensors always on top level discussion of that and what's relevant coming out and the program that we have with them throughout the year.
So that makes a lot of sense with your IP holders. I think one of the big questions that I've had, and even on my way, one of our great Veve Discord mods, OMW, that interests us a little bit is talking with Apple. Now, we know that you have App Talk, obviously, you were on the Apple app, but can you comment on, whether or not you're working with Apple, in some capacity on their wearable headsets, the visors that have the mixed reality that are supposed to be launched. I believe it's been postponed from March to June of 2023 at the developer conference.
Yeah, I mean, the truth to be say, we don't actually work with their hardware device team on at all in regards to what we don't get to see anything that the public don't get to see. They're very secretive on their development and their technology and so on, and they put these news out once they're ready. Our biggest job is to ensure that Veve and Veveverse works in all platforms. So it's not just going to be available on Apple. Obviously, our app already work on Apple. So naturally, you'll be thinking, will these content workable, functionable through their AR glasses? But we just couldn't comment until we see the specs and how it's being built out. But most definitely, Apple is one of the largest hardware manufacturers out there, and mobile device, tablets, so on. And you have seen in DesignerCon that our product will work on their tablets, Apple tablet, and Apple iPhone. So undoubtedly, we will aim to make sure that it will work on their AR glasses or virtual reality glasses when they bring it out.
Excellent. So you foresee our collectibles being compatible or in somehow
No way.
interoperable or in the AR sense with those glasses? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I mean, our job is to our vision in Veve is to make sure that we bring collectibles to collectors through digital format, and we want to make the experience as far as real, emotional as possible to that. And our aim is to work with everybody in regards to the hardware side of things.
Excellent, thank you. So I'd like your thoughts on Disney bringing back Iger. I'm curious, have you had a chance to speak with him yet? Or
number one is Iger is someone who, when he joined Disney, he bought that company from a market capitalization from like 46 odd billion to like a $260 billion corporation. Undoubtedly he's one of the most beloved CEO, and our deal with Disney was signed when both Bobs was in Disney. So, I mean, I can understand where the community thinking is at. If one leadership changed to another, well, does it mean did we get scrapped or not? The fact that Veve existed and Veve done the contract licensing deal with Disney while both Bobs was in the company. One, I believe, was a chairman, one was a CEO, vice versa. They all on the C level when the deal was done.
Actually, yes, I knew that, but thank you for clarifying that. So I have a follow up on that. So you're right. There are people that speculate. Could this be bad for Veve? Being that Arya has a pretty, a very strong understanding of, Web3 technology, but there's also been some speculation on the fact that they're building their metaverse on Polygon. Does this concern you? Do you think that will have an effect, on the interoperability, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, from my side of thing, and this is just me speaking, I was not aware that there was the web base was exclusively built on Polygon, or they're being selected as the only chain to build on. My understanding was that from what I read, was Polygon was selected to be in one of their startup program or incubator program, and just to see the technology when it evolved. And the other thing is, I think we're too early to speculate what chain and what technology. I mean, AI, for example, has been a huge push in the last fortnight with all these major multinational coming out, showcasing what other things and behind it. And undoubtedly, part of the Web3 will have AI component built into it. And the beauty about the industry we're in is we're in the very early stage, and there's a lot of growth to happen. I certainly would not be speculate, if there's going to be one chain or another. And from Veve's point of view is we are not a blockchain company. We don't have our own chain, and we have seen we were able to adapt and move into other areas when we see a better technology and better use. And we'll continue to do that. Part of our job is, and our CTO's job is to look for better technology, more efficient and cost effective. So in that regard, I will not be worrying anything, simply because Veve is not a blockchain company on its own. We don't have our own chain we're running.
Good question. With Disney announcing that they may be, they will be, launching their metaverse with October 2023, then to coincide with their 100 years, would that be something that you would see, that eventually there will be, just portabilities or portals where certain metaverses will be able to coexist?
Yeah, I mean, we in Veve, obviously we are working towards building 100-year anniversary with our license, or which in this case Disney.
David.
I'm not aware if the metaverse, or far as I understand, that they have announced that they're going to be launching in October or anytime soon. I believe the October date that you're referring to on the article was actually the celebration of the 100 years. Disney will start celebrating that, and it is throughout the whole 2023 anyway. And I think that was the kickoff October. And we in Veve, we're very excited to be bringing out products to celebrate the 100th year, and how far had this storytelling, this IP company had developed. From our perspective, we want to interrupt wherever we can, from physical. So, we talk about digital products. We'll have a line of products that we'll be launching this year. That will be a mix, physical and digital, with partners. And that will, and when you talk about Web3, there's many ways to talk about it. My co-founder, Dan, had mentioned quite often in podcasts or in Real Person that, there are already many metaverse out there, application. Fortnite's one of them. Definitely Decentraland, Sandbox. Meta's building one. Veve is just building a different one for our collectors base, and that's what we will be emphasized and put our heart and very heavy on that side of thing. And in terms of interruptible, digital is something that we really believe in. Obviously, we believe in the Veve first that will be interruptible with that as well on your collectible. But outside that, we have not been exposed to other people's technology as such. Apart from the hardware you have seen, we demonstrated at DCon at this moment.
Nice.
Okay.
Agreed, Dark Chaos.
Thank
Dark
you.
Chaos,
I appreciate that.
Maybe.
Speaking of,
I burped, Sylvester.
speaking of kind of like interoperability, one of the things that a lot of people talk about, or that I hear, and communities, they kind of go up and that they go down, but one kind of hot topic is people owning their collectibles and comics. And I know you spoke about this the other, I watched the interview that you did with Bondix the other day. In the interview, where you had said a lot of this is making sure that people kind of understand and don't lose their collectibles, etc. And we seem to understand the comfort and of being in if you will, in a gated community, safe, etc. But what would you say to the people who say, if it's not my keys, not my collectible, or if Veve would collapse, I wouldn't own it anymore. Whereas an NFT, you have that in your MetaMask or on your ledger.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And we're a big believer in ourselves. Number one is, and Veve pride ourselves is, number one is security and the mass market. As you probably have seen, we continue to bring out bigger, better collectibles, better designs, and there are certain factors when we build this business from day one, is that we think of security as number one. And that was mentioned in Matt's podcast I had with him a few weeks back. Just want to assure our audience is that in the case of the company, Veve in this case, does go under, belly up, and with all our contracts with our vendors or licensors, we will have these NFT released into the public. So we do have a I don't actually have a word code red or anything. If something is to happen, they will be released to the respected owners of properties.
The moon.
In the case of we did fall under, the artist program products will basically be open, but it will be transferred back to possibly a layer one type of thing, where users can keep the collectible that they have purchased and own. So they don't just fizzle away and disappear.
I love this game so much.
In thin air.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you, David.
go.
That's very assuring. I'm sure
Veve collectibles are safer.
Still,
they're safer than Omi.
Holding on to it themselves, but
everyone go by Walt. I don't have the money.
I mean, I am a major collector, and I understand what are some of the
oh my god
speculations out there and people fighting on Veve. Number one is we really need to start thinking: is the market, is the users are well educated enough? And eventually, when we do open up the interoperable side, there'll be a lot of messages in the app telling you, hey, once this has been sent out, this is your responsibility. Right now, our job is to build, number one, audience. Number two, the growth phase is building beautiful products and utility around the products to ensure that you have in this experience that you never need to leave Veve, because there's just so much you could do in this ecosystem on its own. And then it is in our priority list to make sure that slowly we be interoperable with other platforms or other marketplaces or other hardware devices and so on.
Well, thank you for that explanation. I'd like to ask you about a little bit about utility on some of the early collectibles. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of feedback. I've heard many people say, that they're afraid that, the golden moment set or other collectibles never have any chance of any sort of utility other than being a collectible. As Disney has recently, made their position clear that, they feel, they want to announce their utility up front, for legal purposes. Is this a correct kind of assumption for the community to make?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. So in regards to, and obviously we're talking about the collectible you mentioned, the golden moment, so on. And Disney as a corporation, and we respect that, they have their legal rights to add value, or whatever you call it, the utility side of things. Their stand is that they will need to announce it out front, so it's fair and equitable to everyone on the utility of the utility value in these NFT you purchase. Now, it is very important that also our audience understand that Veve also have our own utility program happening coincide what you could do with any NFT in Veve. So, from the stance of Disney side of things, they are being very upfront what you get and what value you get out of it. From the Veve side of things, is we could always be running other things and functional events where we invite certain things to certain things within our own rights. And we have seen this with, other Veve fans, people who are on the gold and silver logo of Veve gets to go in a chat group, they discuss, that community basically built around that. So you probably will see more around pockets of different events and different holders that hold X amount of things that will get different access to events or other programs that will be running within Veve. So that kind of makes sense. But from the Disney stuff, they are very clear from their legal purpose is that they are very upfront when we put the Medium article out there. That's what you get, and I believe that's their stand on that.
thank you. That makes sense. So we know that Veve proudly holds many first on the blockchain designations. Do licensing agreements prevent the exact collectible or comic from being reproduced on another platform, or is there some sort of stipulation that requires at least like a blockchain designation, such as version 2? I know some people raise that concern over the Illazillas going out to market on OpenSea.
See how that went?
Is there anything you can speak to on that?
So this is something we don't implement into our contract, is that and just so we make it understand, the audience understand what collectible is all about. Our licensors really do cherish their IP. They understand the fundamental intellectual property, and this is their bread and butter. So it's almost you're telling me that what we really and our IP really understand is that when a collectors are buying this comic, they expect, well, this is the only version. It's the first appearance of the first print. You're never going to have first appearance of a certain superhero in two comic. They will never call first appearance of, say, Spider-Man in a new comic. So, I mean, number one is that Veve have managed to release many of these first as a digital collectible NFT, and full stop. That's what it is. We are going to look at. We have been talking about making a book or encyclopedia to list all the product that has been coming out, like an archive, so people can be educated and learn as they go. Our IP owner also do really understand the importance of collectors out there, so they're not going to go out there to piss off fans and fandoms, and by re-releasing the same image or the same collectible out there. Vice versa, we have no intention as a company to do that as well. So we don't. I don't believe many or all our contract have that written in there that they can't do it, yes or no, but they really do believe the value of their IP, and if they do it, the fandom will lose interest in their IP and collectability of it. And I hope that really makes sense. I mean, there could only be one rookie card of this when this player comes out, or the first appearance of this character when it be introduced to a certain comic, and it can only be published the first time when the comic or publication has first come out. And far as, from our collector's point of view, these are all the first appearance or first edition when it comes in digital, and it will go down the history as that simple as this.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. That I understand. So last time you were on the court, you were in here. I was up here, and I was asking you a little bit about Pokemon, and you said that you were still talking to them, and then recently you I think you kind of teased a little bit. Somebody asked you which fandom would you like to see, and you responded on Twitter, Pokemon, and it kind of got people in a little frenzy because you've been known, to send out some pretty, Alex complains a lot.
Oh my God.
David agrees. So, you don't strike me as a particularly cruel man, or someone likes to watch people suffer. I mean, maybe you do, Randy, whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing it, Chad from NFT Pirates. But
I'm a Randy.
Can you give us, you guys still talk? You still talking? Is there still a chance?
Let's go.
I mean, we keep a very open dialogue with them, and I think it's just a matter of time they feel comfortable coming into this space. We're certainly going to be meeting them, hopefully sometime this year in the licensing show, and just to further advance discussions or matters. One of the things around IP owners is that they're still struggling to get their heads around how to build, and in the Web3 space, how to have a complete narrative product that is going to give them a great storytelling. And most of the largest IP, even some of the IP owners that we work with, still on a daily basis try to grasp that, and we're starting to get some good tractions, and I think one of the major things I talked about this year is we want to get more Japanese related IP on board. and that's my aim, or more diverse, because right now you're seeing a lot of the IP on there.
So Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Dragon Ball Z?
He's saying that negotiations go really well for Pokemon.
And don't get me wrong, the issue with some of the IP owners is that they are owned by multiple partnerships or publishers and distributors. So it's not just one. In regards to Dragon Ball Z, since you brought it up, they are owned by many conglomerates. You got Funimation, you got Sony, you got the story writers, you got the book publishers. They all somehow own a different type of rights in those characters, and it's to align them all together and to do a deal. That's the difficult bit. So you normally will have a couple of the key partners say yes, and then it gets to a producer or someone who has a publishing rights on that certain goods in digital or interactive. They have questions around it. But we're getting grounds, communications going great, and sooner or later we're going to be announcing another key Japanese partner coming up, and I think is something that our audience will love, and through nostalgia, things that they have watched or play with when they're kids, and it's just a matter of time when we're a bit more ready, and Veve will announce that.
Oh, okay. Throwing a teaser out there now. Everybody's going to be guessing now, right? Like, Nintendo, they're like people are just going to be guessing. But okay. So, in that same vein, before we switch to some other topics, we all kind of pay attention to what you tweet out, of course, and to my knowledge, you've only mentioned two things as holy grails. That's been the AF-15 and the Oswald. And just as an avid, Veve collector, what constitutes a holy grail?
Good question. Good question.
I'm curious.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't really know the fans paid that much attention to my tweet. To be very honest,
really,
really, yeah. Maybe now and then I've been a bit of troll the fans.
God damn it,
and maybe I need to bring out some stuff that maybe we need to bring more troll stuff out there on our release this year to troll our fans on that. Yeah, definitely. But going back to the topic of what's really sought after Holy Grail is really how I really think is anything that my heart and really desire I want to own. The AF-15 is something I really wanted to own since I was a kid, and I'm very lucky I own both digital and physical copies of these. And why is it such a significant is because the story writer, the creator Stan Lee, I have got to meet him and spoke to him. Many of you probably have seen my Instagram. I was very lucky to have some photo taken with him. And he really created that whole superhero era and the storytelling to where you're seeing the Marvel Universe as of today. And the amount of energy that man had created and given to the storytelling have created enormous, endless job for people. And that was from the starts of that. And the Oswald is also celebrating another key person, which is the Walt Disney, who also did the same thing in the art world, the cartoon animation, and built this whole Disney empire from that storytelling. And that was one of the first characters that he ever did. And I believe that the story when he sold that character to another company, and it was on the recent year that Disney brought the character back to the family. And I thought these are very key part of it. But, nevertheless, the Steamboat Willie out there, the first NFT creator in Veve, these are all Grail products. and they play a major part. The partners there too, the gold and silver logo. There's just a whole lot of other collectible that we have issued out there.
Gold and silver logo to the moon.
I think they are all grail. And when time comes, in years to come, all these FA and first editions appearance on Veve or on blockchain as a collectible NFT, they will be very meaningful in generations to come. And we only start to realize these when they become more scarce and when they become less, you can't obtain them easily. And when Veve gets more and more users on board, and it will happen, it has to happen because the adoptions just continue to increase. There's that when you have 10, 15 million people all coming onto the platform and wanting to own one of only 3,000 edition, it's going to be very sought after. And this goes the same thing, with the Pokemon card. When I started selling back in 98, 99, the first edition Charizard, you could almost pull that one of the foil card out in every booster box, or every maybe 2 booster box. And Charizard, I used to sell them for 30, 35 US back in 99, 2000, and I did get to about $150. But you look at it, PSA grader 10.
400K is the
I
top
believe
price.
some of the celebrities out there has been buying them up to in the hundreds of thousands, if not some of the best collections are worth millions. And this is product is going back to like 20, 30 years. And they become grail product. Because why does this happen? Because the generations of people grew up, like myself, when I have a disposable income and when I want to own something, I want to own the original than the first. And as Veve grows and our audience are growing up, and you as parents are showing your kids how cool digital collectible, and when they see it viral on AR through social media, when they grow up, they're going to know, well, this is the original one. When my parents showed me, or my brother or my cousin showed me, now I have an income, I do want to buy one of the first appearance of Steamboat Willie, for example. And when you have so many of these people want to own one of these very rare pieces, naturally, they're just going to be quite scarce and you will have to pay based on that demand. And the history had told us that, regardless, stamp collecting from that era, coin collecting to basketball cards started from cigarette cards to toys, statues, what have you not, they all become, and trading cards, especially in basketball card. And there was one period of time in early 2000 to recent day that basketball card was not very popular. And during that COVID period, NBA card just become very sought after. And when people think about that, they go back to buying back in the 96 Skybox or Tops or Flair, and they start collecting sealed boxes, unopened packs. And these were just packs that retail stores or factories or distributor has sitting there because they couldn't sell it back in the day. Who would have thought they would be worth 100 to 1,000 times more today, as a collectible product? And comic went through the whole same thing as well. And I do really believe that more and more people are now moving into digital. These things will just naturally be more collectible in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think of a lot of us have that same belief down the road, and would agree with you. So blockchain, beautiful thing, great technology, very, very transparent.
All right.
Recently,
what are we talking about?
there's
Spider-Man?
been, I'm sure you might have heard, one of our content creators, Omi Daily Bird, he got a little tip from the community and started looking into the blockchain data and found that, there were 17,000 commons common Spider-Man of the collectible that was, spread across 250 wallets that had been inactive pretty much since the migration. So they were all minted during the migration. And then they pretty much sat there inactive until the Obi-Wan mint. There were some actually minted, Obi-Wan's minted to that account and then sent out from those wallets to other users. So that really got the community kind of questioning. What are these wallets?
Okay. Yeah. Well, why would you want to do that? I was just kidding.
I'm sorry. Wait, what? We all have theories.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Everybody's got an opinion. So
Yeah. So I didn't read too much to it, and
Agreed,
obviously because we have more important things to do at Veve every day to push forward, and the straight answer is that our user will probably know that we have a lot of bot users in the past, and this is very good in a way that we have demonstrated that as part of our hygiene in cleaning up Veve and regarding people who violate the terms and conditions, and we want to make sure that we demonstrate how serious we take in regards to the bot users. So most of the account do and belong to the company that you have seen this activity going on. And it was because due to our success in intercepting bot users, and basically we have placed them now into our dedicated wallets. And most of these bot accounts, wallets, and collectible that has now been shifted into company wallets. And that basically we just have been doing a very successful job on cleaning up the hygiene in the Veve.
So 17,000 of those are in bot
users
or
out
bots.
there. That's pretty much what has happened there.
So 17,000 of them are in
So
bots wallets.
these
which
are
means they're
under
closed.
Veve's possession as basically botted. They were just
I need a common
retaken
Spider-Man.
from bot activity.
Yeah. So I do believe there's over 900 or even up to 1 million and a bit wallets out there, and we segregated. I haven't checked how many ever wallet you mentioned, every single one of them, but majority of them, if not most of them, have been now in the company's possession.
Holy crap!
So speaking of that,
There's a lot
that
less
was
of the
another
supply.
question. We've heard different things now and then about these accounts, these locked accounts, these botted
There's
accounts.
a lot less in the supply than we thought.
Some we've heard people will have access to them, but they can't do any transactions.
Correct.
We've heard other accounts
It's not
that
just
after
Spider-Man
12
Supreme.
months,
It's
some
90
kind of legal
it's a
thing
lot
could
of these.
happen,
It's a lot of them.
and maybe
It's
you
not just
guys can
Spider-Man.
reclaim them. Legally, we know, you have to be careful.
Yes.
These are a lot scarcer than
Is there any sort of, is there a plan within legal, ramifications, et cetera, or that you guys plan on doing with these accounts that were heavily bought, the collectibles in these accounts?
Yeah. So a couple things we just want to make it clear is that all these bots collectible, either way they've been intercepted, they have actually been paid for. So they not actually like things that we normally burn, which we do with comics and collectible that hasn't sell out.
I'm sorry, did you say they have been paid for, or they have
they
not?
have been paid
Yes,
for.
okay.
They have been paid for.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
so they are unlike the collectibles that we generally burn, which we showed on the public, the metadata that they have been out of circulation supply. So technically, yes, they have been paid for. Royalty has been paid to the respect owners of that. So they technically should be circulated in one way or another. We have temporary freeze or stop their account because the activity that we've seen going on, a lot of them have not come back and reclaim them. And that's why they sit there inactive in their respective wallet. In regards to after 12 months or something, we haven't made that decision as yet. We are seeking legal advice around this as well.
Wow.
Because our job is not really policing and taking things off people unless, they had seriously breached. And obviously, we do give people the opportunity to contact us, to talk to us, as well as that to pass the KYC. And if they don't meet those criteria, then
Let's go,
the account
homie.
will continue to be disabled.
I understand. So like for someone like my son who, he's not going to KYC yet. He's not old enough. Something like that. It's just going to stay there until I can get him KYC.
Homie
as
breaking
long as
out.
he goes in once in a while.
11%.
No problem.
Yeah, we have a lot of active user that uses Veve that are no KYC, and they still have full accessibility into the AR, the look at the collectibles, so on. And a lot of them have took the advantage to merge the account since we brought out that feature. And it's really good to see the amount of people, taking out that feature and the merging. And possibly if he hasn't KYC, a merge account is possible if he's willing to give you his collectibles.
You're funny.
Yeah.
You're funny. No, he's gonna wait. But that brings up a good point. Where are we currently with active users? And do we still have a measure on that? Do we still use the same? Not we. Sorry. Does Veve still use the same? The metrics. That it had at one point. Like you could. You had to log in 3 times a month, or you had to buy something, etc.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we look at active users from many different views. Really, we want people to be checking their wallet, looking at their collectibles, using the AR features. Purchasing is obviously a major part from the back end, because that's how we see how many collectible we should set the amount quantity for the next drop. But we also realize last year was an exceptional year, and I have spoken about this many times. Is that our job is to make sure that the collectible that you purchase, that you love, you're gonna do something with it, rather than you buying it and straight away you're gonna sell it. We wanted to make sure that the quantity that we set out on the additions versus what that item is worth in physical world and in parity as a collectible. Not saying that the Lamborghini we're going to be selling that for hundreds of thousands of dollars. They need to be in par with what a real model collectible car, die-cast car, and the addition that they will bring out in the real life, and to ensure that we keep the inflationary under control. What we don't really like to see is items that you purchase on day one and they just go crazy in the secondary market. That's not what Veve is all about. It's about trying to get more users on board that love collecting die-cast card. Now they have an option to buy this NFT Lambo, for example, that you could drive it in the AR mode, and you could take a photo with it because you own that. If you can't own the real car, you get to own one of these digital version of it. So from our stand, an active user is really a collector out there, and that we can entice them into move from physical to digital, whether they are just buying one item, but they are always constantly using the app to show off to their friends and family that they own that, to get more users on board. So the number is not always just about the monetary value. It's about the time they socially spend on it.
I hear you. You see my picture of my Queens Court icon. That's my car. So, on my PFB. So, that brings us into the new branding. I like the new branding. But with anything, people, are going to have their opinion. Can you give us a little insight, as to like why it was changed? The reason behind it. You've seen people compare it to the meta and the colors, and and recently it's been nasty out on Twitter. So if you guys ever do reward people, I think we should get hazard pay for people on Twitter. But people speculate, that it was due to some sort of patent infringement, and that you guys don't even with the trademark, and there's issues with the trademark and everything else. Can you address that?
Yeah.
That a little bit for us.
Certainly, we're not in any patent infringements with anybody in regards to patent infringement. And the true story is that we designed the Veve logo it was actually possibly in our kitchen. We had to bang something up, and Dan with his multi-skill task in beautiful design, he banged up the original Veve logo, within hours, and sent me 3 to look at. And I said, well, I like that one, and I like that blue, and this is how it should look. And that was how Veve really came alive. But throughout the last 2 years since we've been up and going, and don't get me wrong, I love the old logo. We found we need to go and attract more of a larger demographic. And when we talk about demographic, we're not just talking about different geolocate. We're talking about male, female users. We want to attract more wider audience, and this really goes in the philosophy that we have new pillars of products coming out. So right now you have seen all the evergreen characters, you've got the superheroes, you've got the Disney characters, you've got what have you not, all these nostalgia brands coming on board. But I've always been talking about the new pillars, about the music coming out in the sports. And we kind of wanted to, number one, refresh the brand to cater for a wider audience and wider verticals. That's number one. And number two is that vertical is going to be addressing a different audience. So we wanted to make sure that it's a logo that goes out that is more, seem to be more fun, have more different ways we can implement into the different marketing and so on. And that was one of the major push around it. And basically we're hoping with that new way of positioning, we will entice new users and new download when we implement the mass marketing out there. But at the end of the day, we're still called Veve. The letter hasn't changed. They're not upside down or anything. And the logo really around that is a collective heart. We really wanted to let our audience know that our number one target is collectors at heart, and it's coming from us, myself, Dan, the team who love collecting. We went through lots of meetings and lots of times to get the new branding, and hopefully in times that when you see more pillars, more products coming out, this will really build on you, and it will just take a little bit more time, I think.
Yeah. So speaking of the pillars, there have been some rumors about potentially, how rumors go, and they're just rumors about maybe the verticals might be acquisition or, an existing kind of, NFT company. You mentioned sports, and, right now we see a lot of the sports platforms, are struggling. They're like everybody else, they're in a bear market. They're not doing so well when selling out, drops nearly at the rate that Veve is. is there been any consideration, on a potential, merge with an existing, a Top Shots, an Autograph? I know the CEO. I can give you his number. He
Lori?
was on the Queen's Court a couple months ago.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Don't bring that up.
The truth is that we do stay in contact with a lot of our competitors out there. And everyone's in the same tie, right? I mean, we are in the same position, and our job is to look at how we can make the market a bit better. And so, few things is that very important is that currently the market is obviously not growing at the speed it did last year or the year before. So we, as a company, we want to make sure that we don't drop a release or major release in the same time as another competitor of ours. So timing is really about everything. And going back just to answer your question in regards to are we in talks or we looking merge? Certainly, the merger side hasn't been a topic with us at all. We have looking at collabs with other licensed partner who happens to be in another platform or another product out there. I can't really name any of them because I'm under pretty tight NDA at the moment.
Thank God.
But Veve, in a way, will always bring out product that is relevant to our audience, and we will always move at the speed that our audience can accept and take. Just give you an example that the honest truth for the Lamborghini, we signed that license a while ago, but we didn't actually feel that the product that we're going to bring out is going to be good enough until now. Because we back in then when we signed the license, we didn't have the drivability. We didn't have all that interactive together. And people have seen our first Back to the Future DeLorean time machine compared to this new product that we're about to release. They're huge in terms of detail, just everything. And the interactive side of it, it's just much more smoother. So it's all about timing and being relevant in the storytelling and what we're going to be bringing out for our audience. So it's not like I'm just going to drop a whole lot of sports player in the middle of halftime and Veve and go, well, yeah, here you go. You got some cheerleaders for your superhero and they interact together. It really needs to have a good storytelling and relevant to our audience. And we think it's good enough because what we don't want is we don't want another failed product out there.
Understand. And the price on that again was what?
For the Lamborghini?
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Lamborghini, and I'm taking are we half time? Because let's do a halftime special there, eh? Special announcement. While we're talking about the Lamborghini, it's going to be a very, very small run of these.
Oh!
And something that we're going to be doing this time is quite different than what we have done in the past is that we have allocated a very small portion of the secret rare of the Lamborghini that's dropping in the coming days or week. I think it's coming out next week, isn't it? Or this week. That we are going to be giving a small portion of them to the OG Omi Ecomi supporter who supported our crowd sale on our public sale when we did the crowdfunding
Crypto Rain
back in I think 2017 or 18. So those fans out there who backed us from day one on those, and you will be receiving an email as we speak coming out to you, I think after the drop. you will be getting one of these Lamborghini on the house from you, delivered to you. But you still have to meet the criteria. You still need to be KYC. You need to have a Veve account and so on. So you're going to have time. I think the day we're going to be setting is you're going to have 30 days to set it up when you get the email, and you will receive one of these very special secret rare from us as a gesture to thank you for believing in us from day one. And for rest of the Veve users, they are going to be released as a blind box. They're very affordable. They are going to be, I think the news is we're announcing the price in the edition tomorrow. But the edition is very, very low, and the price is very reasonable.
Medium article tomorrow.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Very.
I mean,
Oh, boy.
I'm going to try to get a whole set myself, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah, and looking forward to the
I don't have enough
special
gems.
secret rare Veve Ethereum.
Okay, way to distract your interviewer halfway through the
I need,
interview.
like-
Well, it's half time.
Tag me in, Lori. Tag me in.
It's half time. Did you hear about what happened during the Super Bowl? Just off off question here. They scanned they had a barcode up for one of the commercials, and you scanned it, and talked about a digital collectible that you had to follow somebody on Twitter, and their Twitter they just, I don't know, I think they gained like 170K followers, and nobody knows what the hell the NFT is or anything, but
Yes.
NFT Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, I did watch it. I did read it on Twitter, and it came out in the news. I mean, God, that's a lot of money spent on that ad. I wish I had that type of sign off to do things like that. Yeah, maybe when I don't know, maybe one day if they give it to us for free. The 30
Does
seconds.
Alex sound there? Alex, you get on that negotiation.
Yeah.
Start working
How
on
do we get 30-second free ad on Super Bowl? I think we have to do very well to get it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Crowdfund. Okay, so I still got a few more questions on the Veve side, but I want to switch a little bit into OMI.
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's try.
Your favorite subject, right?
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay. So I first and foremost, congratulations on the OMI token portal. I think it's a really nice tool. I think it clearly identifies, OMI, OUP priority, project status, what items is the team working on. And there's even a, roadmap for the future, that aren't in that main area. And I think Reese has done a really good job, articulating the program and, spreading the word. However, Reese has said that we wouldn't have any new exchange listings until there is actual utility in the token. And you saw a lot of I don't want to say a lot of, but Padawar specifically, who was traditionally very Veve OMI, friendly, trustful, Uncle Jeremy, kind of saying, well, there's Doge and there's these, all these various coins out there that they don't have shit for utility, but they're utility. And, you don't need that. And we're not a utility and we're not a metaverse coin. And what's the hold up? This looks like an issue.
Yeah.
So
And I totally agree with you. And I read through the feed and I get thousands of messages. I've tried to read them all, but I know what they're about. Couple of things I just want to let our audience understand is that we are in talks with exchanges. We're always in talks with exchanges, but we already know what our fans want. They want us to be on the top 4 or 5 exchange. They don't want any more tier 2 or 3 type of exchange.
Mid-tier
So
is
we're
fine.
working very hard. And the truth to be said is that the market, the last couple quarter has been very depressed. And the biggest issue is the exchanges sometimes is under scrutiny from our point of view as well. We were very close signing up with a major exchange, and the reason why we didn't sign up was because we were actually traveling, and I forgot to do the DocuSign on it. But if I signed that exchange listing, if not, most of our OMI holders will probably lost their OMI by now because that exchange no longer functions. So right now, the exchange is a bit more wanting to make sure that the projects are real, functional, and now also projects are vice versa are checking on exchanges to make sure that they are the well fit as well. Listing on the exchange for us is a must, and I understand that. And we'll endeavor to hopefully announce the next exchange we will be listing with and on. We just can't give you a clear time because it doesn't quite work that way. You don't just list on the exchange to go, well, we're talking to these guys and we're going to list on that day and exact time. It just doesn't happen that way. It takes a long time for both parties to check through all the documentations. And they now ask a lot more questions, and it's a lot harder. It's not about just paying the exchange to be listed on anymore. Exchanges are more and more worried on, from every angle, community building, utility, security laws, and liquidities, and the company performance, the people behind it, everything. It's a lot more thorough than where we see in 2017, 18, and 19 throughout. So that's
and I understand that, but I think there's a lot of people that are seeing, Bitcoin back up to 24K. They're
Correct.
seeing, these coins that are seeing 100% returns, and it's, as far as an exchange going down, we currently on our exchanges, and I think Danny the Bull made this point. We risk those going down, as well.
Correct.
Understand we want protected in the future, but it's pretty difficult when it's so darn hard to find. On an exchange.
Yeah. So Reese and I we work quite hard on communicating and trying to get us onto a bigger, better exchange all the time. And I'm confident we are speaking with exchanges. But it's not really just up to us. It's a collective initiative from both exchange and us to find a good fit and the timing on it.
Okay. So utility is not a requirement then. It's more of an exchange acquisition transaction.
Yeah, I mean, utilities definitely out there. I mean, exchanges certainly want to know and making sure that your utility value is not going to breach any certain laws for them to trade on your behalf or let you trade on their platform. So, I mean, it's definitely there. Utility is not always just about what your users can use your tokens for. It's also about to make sure that you steer away from certain things and it doesn't get caught up with their issue as well.
Absolutely. And I think that, poor Reese, he's like, no one wants home utility more than I do. But I have heard and just some sentiment, especially with the longtime OMI holders. We're coming on year 5,
Correct.
right?
Oof.
And
when you say it like
a lot
that.
of the people that came in not for their love of collectibles, maybe. They came in through the crypto side, right? They came in through the OMI, and Veve was supposed to be this. It should be. I hope it to be this clean ecosystem between coin and product. And there is some sentiment out there that Veve has taken off. to the moon, pretty hard. Yeah. Great sales, maybe not $1 billion this year, David. We might have been stretching it with the $1 billion goal, but that's okay. Stretch goals are good. But they're crushing it. And, I've even heard that, you could basically cut the cord, let Omi die and Veve will live on, to hell with the funders of Omi and the people that, staked the company. They're just going to be left a slow, painful, red circle death. And I've even heard someone saying, well, David never talks about Omi, and it's like, okay. So, could you maybe talk a little bit about the commitment, to Omi, still being part of the system? Yes. And or maybe it's not. Maybe you're like, yeah, you're right, Lori. It's not. It's, whatever.
Yeah. Certainly not. I mean, those comments you just mentioned are definitely people just speculating. I mean, myself and Dan, we had never spoke negative about Omi ever since it was born. A major part is really getting the OUP up and running, and rest assured that there will be utilities coming out. And one of the major part will be how you can use Omi to purchase NFT in the secondary market. I know, just the audience needs to understand is that it's only recent, the last quarter, we have brought more and more employees and contractors on board to help us build all these mission out. We are going to be kicking off to building the OUP, I think on Q2 commencing. And then and hopefully once that's past the finished build, past the beta, that will be launched, and that will be a stage 1. So and other OUP that Reese had talked about, and it's on our websites, the idea is that it will be used a lot more in the Veve first as well, where Omi will be taken as a primary one of the options for users to, trade in Omi there.
Primary
currency. So one of the things that I hear people constantly, mess up, if you will, or not know or guess about. And I think it might surprise how much people really, really, really do pay attention to everything. Yes. I hear people say, no, they don't have a CTO. No, they don't have a CEO. They don't have a CFO. They don't have this. And, even today someone said, like, Reese had mentioned hiring 2 new people on the dev team. Is the dev team shared? Yeah. Is it is it separate? Is the Omi side of the house and the Veve side of the house separate, or are you guys still in that, everybody does whatever they can do kind of?
No. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, we were there at the very beginning, and no doubt that's with any startup. And we do have, by the way, we do have a CTO, and we do have dev team. The company operates very, still very in a way, I like to say as a startup. We, regardless how much revenue we make, we do care how we spend and how we get the return for the dollar. We don't think like the major multinational where we can just go out and hire 500 people to do nothing or something very little. That we really like to see major output, and if this key person can help us move that stone to the next level. And the engineers that we have now, we're hoping within this 2 quarters, we're going to bring a couple more squads in, and they will each work on different things. And just the audience out there understand is that the people who's building Veve or maintaining Veve as it is, they don't, the engineers do the engineer work. They don't do half engineer and go build a golden moment 3D figure and put it together. They are departments within the organization where there's the product team, where they do the design and they roll out. And then there's the engineering team, and then there's a team that basically look at the greater picture. And all these divisions have their product managers to ensure. A lot of you have met Mitch, who has recently joined the company and really running the product from the Veve perspective and ensuring that timelines are met. And one of the major things that we are walking away from is actually promising a hard deadline. And the problem is that
good.
Myself and Dan, we in a way, we love to have everything out there. To be very honest with you, there's a lot of stuff I could be telling you guys, but it's probably not going to happen in the next 1 or 2 quarters, but it will happen because we have a very long-term vision. And if you look at my track history, every business that I have built has been a very long-term. I don't have a exit. I don't just build things to sell it and move on to the next thing. I build them because I enjoy to be part of it, and I love the people around it. So every single member that we add into Veve, we thoroughly walk through and make sure that they are well fit and understand what we're doing and achieving that goal. At the very start, I do have to admit, we basically building and bringing in people where someone's doing everything and everyone's wearing every hat. And in fact, myself and Dan, we still wear multiple hats, and that's why we're extraordinarily busy trying to do everything. And that's what keeps us up at night, because we want to build a very fun, enjoyable product. And it's not really just for the money. It just really, I'm in the best position ever now than I have been in my 25 career, because I'm delivering and building things I love and sharing it to people. And at the same time, people are talking about it through the social. So we want those 2 team members to come in. And it is very important that our audience need to understand to have that dynamic in any company. It does take time, because you try to fit with that culture, and you try to bring in people that understand what this whole business and the fundamentals about.
Understand. So you were conservative on the hiring, because we hear that a lot. Well, why don't they just create a bigger team? Why don't throw money at? Why are there only 2 people? Where so.
And the other thing, we don't really have. We don't really bring, and we probably should. Eventually we will introduce more and more team members out there. A couple of the reasons is that we don't want things to start harassing or sending thousands of messages. And for example, our customer service team gets hundreds and hundreds of messages a day, and some of them are probably just personal messages to go, well, you should be treating me this, doing that, why are you doing this? And we listen. But what we don't want is our CTO or our engineers start getting these messages where they put them off track. Our goal right now is very, very simple, is to complete the roadmap and build these things that we have promised, and it's on our in our pipeline, and we need to deliver them, and we need to deliver them fast.
And that's why I like the utility, the portal, because it did lay out there. There's a lot of things we might not like that it's 0% or whatever, but it's all laid out there. Have you ever considered maybe using a similar approach on the Veve side, like that same kind of model? Because I know you guys are dealing with things that are so much bigger than to worry about it, but it's things that just people, and maybe that won't matter in the long term, but for the people that are here right now, it matters a lot to them. They feel like, for the most part, this is why I came in. There's one person that really, just wants to know comics and showroom. And I know that's probably maybe it's 100 down the list, but, just something to say, yeah, it's on the agenda, or this is in progress, or you know what? We talked a little bit out of our behinds maybe 4 years ago, and we're not going to breed rabbits anymore, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just so that, because if not, like I could, there's some other things there. I still have people that said, ask them about the Midnight Chupacabra. Ask them about the Veve letters, the localization, the transfer, the sales data.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't ask him all these questions.
I appreciate that. And by the way, we are working on all those. They're probably not 100 down. I need to check with Mitch if showroom and comic and Phoebe letters. We do need to get them out. And I do apologize. We will look into those as soon as we can. We definitely have been overswamped with a lot of new features we're building in. And the teams are working honestly tirelessly to get all these bugs and searches, everything out. It's something I think most people probably the audience needs to understand that this is a there's so many movement parts in the business, from licensing to 3D creative to the Unity to make sure this functions, to the mobile capability to ensure that this product's going to AR stream it out well, to the blockchain on the minting it, to the app developing it. And it comes down back in the circle. There's just a lot of things in each pipeline. Sometime when you add that feature in there, something else will go in, will not go the way you want it to go. And that's what really take a lot of our times out to fix these bugs. And I think even myself this morning, I received an email that I'm part of the new beta for something, and it warns me, hey, you need to be prepared for if you want to be part of this program. And I think it's the MSC program, actually, Master Clicker program. And that was the next question now. That was the next question. I swear to God, I only got my invite this morning myself. So if any one of you think, we get to jump the queue, we don't. We get selected based on certain criteria. And I was very lucky to receive my email invitation this morning. So the Master Collectors program is coming. It's on beta, and I think a lot of the users out there will probably have received similar email as I have today. And that basically is a stage one to make sure it works and before we roll it out to everybody.
Yeah, I know you promised not to do it, and you scared the hell out of me in that November, December when you said by the end of the year, and I'm like, no, David, no, stop, please learn, no. And that was rough. That was really rough. Like that hurt a little bit because there was and then of course I think it was Mitch that came back and said we don't care. I'm paraphrasing here, but we know we said this, but we're always going to put quality above timeline, which is also key in any business. But maybe you should stick with like quarters. Maybe years. Maybe just go with a year. 2023.
I mean, sometimes something that the quality of the new members coming on, like Mitch, for example, he wants to make sure the product is well tested before we just deliver them to the users, and then find out, we need to change this whole thing and we need to take it apart and redo it. So I do want to summarize last year. There was few things that really took us by surprise, and it was actually never on our roadmap, and that took a huge chunk of our team in development. And that was number one, the bot users. We were spending day and night conquering that issue. That was number one. And there was another major feature that was never on our roadmap that we had to deliver that, and that took a lot of time. It was the payout feature. The gems, the in-game gems was never intended to have a payout. And we were trying to figure how it's going to be done and finding the banking partners with a MTL license and so on. Some of these features just takes you off a tailspin that you would not believe. If we didn't have these major things that we had to deliver for our users, because we do listen and the whole team basically just focus on that other thing, we'll never be this behind. And the beauty about what Nature's putting together now is putting in teams and products first. Products needs to be good enough to be delivered. And that's why Dan looks after that whole side of the business, and I look after the other side to ensure that great IPs and collectibles are coming out better and better. And that's why we work so well, and the team functions and can able to deliver a new show every single week to our audience. So in one hand, I need to make sure that I don't pause any releases. I need bigger, better IPs to be out there. And then Dan's pressures, I need to meet Dave's demand to have that drivable car. I need to meet all these other deadlines. So the teams are basically scrambling, trying to get that done. But now we have
And the OMI side? And the OMI side?
And then the OMI side's on top of it. And that the OMI side's all more around the utility side of things. And as I had talked about earlier, the OUP.
I thought you were going to say Reese and throw him on.
No, never. Reese does work very, very hard. And yeah, I mean, everyone does in the team. And as I say, that side, they'll be commencing work on Q2 this year on the OMI to the NFT on the secondary market. And obviously that would extend into the Veve first eventually, and more utility value will come out from there.
Do you foresee 2023 being the year that we might have Veveverse?
Yeah, we are aiming to bring out the beta version for trial for few users around end of Q1, beginning of Q2. And obviously, we are bringing them out, like Dan had mentioned, it's in 2 phases. We want to make sure that it is around your surrounding, your home, and what you can build around it. The exciting part is that most of our licensors have verbally told us that they're excited to be part of the accessory. So you might see branded couches, furnitures, fittings, to put inside your Veve home, and that's the beauty of that.
Accessories to burn OMI. We like that.
All right. Probably Q2, maybe Q3.
Was there a particular reason, other than perhaps just being a lot of data, that the decision was made, not to count acquired NCP points from merged accounts?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I actually had to ask Dan just to make sure that I answered this correctly. And the truth is that it is a very pressing task that we had to account. That we just endless of data and engineering needs to go behind it to make it work. And it just came to a conclusion that if we were going to do all that, the MCP would need to be delayed by a huge pushback, and we just decided to reduce that friction. We'll roll it out with a more simplified version internally to make this happen. But the configuration of data it needed just an immense amount of power we need and resource, and we just haven't got that.
Understood. Somebody brought up the question about, some of the NFTs tied with going to the movies, and that there were NFTs that were minted, but they were never, or collectibles that were minted, but we didn't, we don't have that many people who actually collected, that actually claimed them. Obviously, you would have to work with, I would imagine the IP holders, but do you have a plan on whether those, those unclaimed collectibles, are those going to be potentially burned, or any discussion or redraw?
So as part of our trial last year is to work with movie studios to do a day and day release NFT for promotion purpose. And we seen a lot of them had a really fantastic uptake, and obviously there are few markets and the early adopters in that cinema might not have taken up that free NFT, and as a result, not all of them have been claimed. Our contractual agreement with these licensor and cinema partners is that these are not never to be sold. So they are going to be fairly rare, and it is very likely we will be burning them. And that brings up, another task for me. I do need to bring that up with them to see what we should be doing with them. I do not believe they will be sold because they are not a revenue generator. We don't really do not make any money doing those releases. It is out there as part of our initiative to get that mass market users to download the app and where we see fit. And we will continue to run those programs this year. We do have a couple more quite major partners who will be working with us to help us reach that mass market audience.
All right.
Great. I can't wait. So, given the popularity and the money poured into like a Fortnite, and I could speak just as a parent, where there's so much money for a character or a skin, whatever, and there's actually no tangible assets that are gained, really as a result of this. You use your skin and then it goes away, and you're left with nothing but your credit card bill. And myself and a lot of parents, you don't really think too much about that. Is Veve still, I know early on, going back and watching some of the videos with you and Al and Dan talking to various licensors, etc. There was really a talk about like getting kids involved, getting them involved earlier. Given all the I don't want to say problems, given all the limitations with KYC, etc. Do you think we're going to be able to get to a place where kids are going to be able to, function within the app and purchase, etc., and use it?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we constantly in the company to look for new ways to entice and onboard new collectors. So there will be a few things that we're going to be doing this year. Number one was the rebranding, which we have talked about. And number two is these new vertical that we're opening up. And the idea is that we really believe that there's a market that's greater than just these evergreen superhero characters. That there will be car enthusiasts that want to collect car products. And we look forward to this Lambo drop. To get new active users. And the next thing is that we are going to look at how we can move that KYC further down the food chain when you sign up the app. What we don't really want and where it is right now is that the minute you want to buy something or get in the app, we ask you to put in your ID, driver's license or passport and do all the checks and not. So we're working to move that process down when you start trading and when you buying or selling within Veve. And other things that we're going to look at bringing on mass marketers, we really need to build a world-class product. And that's what we always keep talking about. Number one is, this is an entertainment ad. How can we get more people to share? And we have already seen hundreds, if not thousands, of pics people take with their AR and then share it viral. And that's how initially we got a lot of these users on board. We need more and more users. And so we need to make sure that this product, this app is going to be fun. And there's other great utility value out of it. And that's what Fortnite's all about. I mean, people now stream Fortnite on YouTube, and people watch them. My brother's kid love watching people play Fortnite for the value of entertainment. They actually just get a buzz out of it, watching people, the commentators, talk about the characters and what have you not. And that's what that entertainment value is. And Veve is still trying to find that great balance of, sure, now you show me you standing next to your Spider-Man or Batman. I want to see more. And part of this new launch of that Veveverse on the home will demonstrate that you can start build your own collection, and you will have a sense of things to complete, and you feel satisfied and enjoy doing it. And we're already seeing a lot of the Veve fans out there with the photoholics. We've seen people have put great videos out there using collectibles that has been released in Veve, and running competitions and running like Veve 500, for example. And people enjoy watching that. And how do we take that into something even greater? It's basically what's on our roadmap, and that is part of that rebranding, which I keep going back about, is that we want to attract that mass market audience and those new verticals.
Yeah, with some of those products or those kids things are licensed. I know that LOL dolls was mentioned at one point, and the Little Prince.
Yeah.
Is Veve in any kind of danger with time running out on those? Or any of the unreleased license? I know that you guys had quite a few, but sometimes when Marvel or certain companies want things done, I'm sure there's various priorities.
Yeah. I mean, our girls, I believe, is scheduled to come out around April this year. So our fans should be looking forward to that. Ones with who they're beloved. They're one of the biggest selling dolls in the world at the moment still. So that's April, and just addressing guys like Little Princess. And that was one of the things that the development team finished the product. They felt that we should be going out with a stronger finish and product offering. So instead of releasing a mediocre type of figure, we're doing it, and we're going to immerse and build a better collectible around it. And it is our decision that we hold back that, and that will be coming out hopefully around June, July quarter, around that quarter this year as well. So nothing on our license that we have announced, it's just going to fall off the cliff, and they don't get released. And just saying also, and that is one of the reasons why we stop announcing major brands. And when we announce things, we want it to be closer and closer towards it. March 2023, not 24. It's going to be a massive month. March this year. You will see a lot of cool new brands coming out.
That's soon.
So get those gems ready, or there'd be some.
Those wouldn't coincide with a lot of the new movies.
March Madness, baby. Mandalorian?
No, not new movies. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't believe those IP have new movies coming out. But they're probably celebrating something. Then we have tied it in the same time. But, the month of March is going to be a chock-a-block. This year's...
my husband telling me Transformers, Flash,
Optimus Prime
movies on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a new movie.
Yeah, really good IP. And I think there's an IP that everyone will have grown up with and love. So watch that one. Yeah, that's going to be another world. Yeah, it's totally, you probably would never think of it, but it's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so wow, David, we're doing really well. I'm almost done with my questions I have from you. These ones are obviously the last ones I left here. So, recently, I don't know. You said you guys are busy. You don't have time to necessarily react, but over the past, we go through little flare-ups, in the community. Part of that's probably bear cycle. Collectibles are down, comics are down. People, it's just the way it is. One of the things that comes up a lot that we hear, like about the mints that are held back, the sub 40s, and from a blockchain perspective, I think it's pretty clear. At least Omi Daily Burn, pretty much said that the majority of those are in the wallet, in the Veve wallet, some are in the Marvel wallet. But a lot of people kind of questioned, how are those? Is there a plan for those? I know that we saw, I think the Slimer 39 was given, etc. Is there an actual plan, or do those just belong to, Veve and Marvel, and you will do with them, kind of as you see fit?
So to address that question, and we talk about it within the company quite a bit as well. So a couple of things. When we release a collectible, we always tell you how many edition we're minting. If we're minting 1,500, it's 1,500. So our number one is our audience and users should always anticipate that's how many is going to be released. And obviously, the lower mint number, there's people going for those series. They find it obviously it's very sensitive that they want to get closest to the number 40 or 41. And the honest truth is, number one is, back in 2021, when we launched the 2020, end of 2021, the early people who got into Veve was able to purchase from number 16 onwards, because the company was only holding back about 15. And so you will see circulation in the marketplace in the early Veve releases that there's the lower number going out. And to address the question on the,
you could get them right off the market. I wasn't around for that, right?
Yeah.
But you could just get them right off the market.
That is correct, and that's how the system was done back then. And then when we start signing up bigger license, and they ask for samples, because in licensing, you do have to send them 30 or 50 of something when you first manufacture, and the license will use them as a QC to see if there's defect from the number one product you send in and the number 30, if there's difference. They want to make sure that it's very consistent. So they practice that on digital as well. So they want X amounts held back for them. And this is very standard in the licensing. And that's when the practice of going up to 40 was held back, was kept back. And then there was one stage, the company ran into some issues with the gem issue, and we had to untwine some. And then we were running competitions for marketing, and we definitely rewarded some users on certain pieces. That's the lower sub 40. So number one is, users out there, they must understand when we say there's 1,500, they will always need to think there's going to be 1,500. The issue will come in if we have more than 1,500 and we're minting more than what we promised. But going back to address the question, what are we going to do with the company wallet? You are right. Some of them have actually gone to our respected licensed partners or holders, those that belong to them, and we have limitations what we can do with them, or we can ask them to do. And we have discussed internally with the one that's held in the company, do we eventually burn them or basically delete them out of circulation? So these are all up for debate.
Huh.
So that's a TBD.
Yeah.
I guess.
I can't give you a firm answer, but I just want that the way I addressed it really is that you understand that they are circulating. If they're not shown on the app as being burned, they are still there. But we'll make a decision coming up what we're going to do with it. From Dan's perspective, he thinks really the company should look at burning them to I understand why, and we will just address it when the time is right as well. And we do need to talk to our partners as well and our licensors.
Well, it's funny because other NFT projects, do give away NFTs to different reasons for different people, but, the community, that has a way with blockchain, et cetera. And there's been people that have said, oh, well, these people, because they've done this, they get sub 40s and they get this. And, and it's just like, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But, nobody, nobody kind of really, has ever said, well, this is what's going to happen. Even if they're ours, we own them, and we do what we want with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We haven't actively been giving away any of them for any way or shape or form. But, at the end of the day, right now they do belong to the company. And we just haven't made a call what to do with them as yet. But we also do understand the value of these low mid numbers. So our job is to make sure that the market's not flooded with these collectibles, simply because we understand the sensitive nature of it and what makes a product collectible. We're not going to flood the market as such.
Right. Well, it makes sense now, the 40, because, there was always this question, why 40? Even I think on the T-shirt drop, the Decon T-shirt drop, there was like, 150 or something, and you guys had 40. And, everyone was like, why does that 40 correspond with the mint size? Is it just like a setting that, Veve just doesn't want to change, for each mint or something like that? That I see that was based on an industry standard that predated NFTs, and you guys just kind of kept that as the standard.
That's correct. Yeah. But rest assured, we understand the sensitive nature of why people want us to address that, and we will when the time is a bit more right. Right now it's all about all the other features and the tech behind it. That's our most priority, on our list.
Understand. So, Elon recently tweeted a picture of the Up House getting shot out of the sky. So was that confirmation of a SpaceX, Tesla, Veve super collab?
Totally not true. Totally not.
Why are you always wearing SpaceX clothes?
I love it. I was very, very lucky to, have, close friends and being invited to the launches in SpaceX. I was, and he's someone who I really admire and look up into. This guy's built multiple unicorn companies and always ahead of everything. AI is another major topic. He was one of the co-founder in the OpenAI ChatGPT. Just someone who I look up to and inspire. So every day I work harder, not just because I enjoy what we do here at Veve and bringing up beautiful collectible, but we also want to be part of that movement, changing things, and do something special and be a leader in that forefront of that industry. And really that's the narrative really behind it. Yeah, but I'm not saying no as no, because you never know if we're going to do something. But yeah, it wasn't an announcement or anything as such.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
If you say so. So, so to just kind of wrap things up, on a positive note, before we get closing remarks, we're getting pretty close to the time. It's 10 minutes to 9, and I know you've been talking a lot, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate, you just coming here and giving us the answers. It's been challenging lately, so I think a lot of people have been looking forward to kind of hearing from you. Obviously you have been traveling and you're busy doing things and probably not keeping track of the Twitter wars that are going on. That's probably not on your main agenda. But some of us do. But on a more pleasant note, I guess, I've been working with Al Kahn in the community lately to support the First Responders Children's Foundation. We've done a few raffles so far, and as a matter of fact, just yesterday we ended a raffle for a signed Pokemon Pop by you and Dan and Al. It's a Pikachu Pop. Probably don't even remember signing that, but I was and it was from Germany too, and they donated it back to put out for another raffle. So lots of good things. So I was wondering, and given that you had talked about charity on the space, well, I keep saying yesterday, on the Gondik space and the importance of, fuel credits and charity and some of the charity you've done for the recent war efforts. Is there anything planned from a Veve charitable perspective this year? Do you have anything planned with, the Clinton Foundation or any previous Rewind or anything like that going on?
I mean, number one, we have been approached by sorry.
Sorry, I was trying to let out. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, charity. Charity.
So in regards to the charity side of things, we are looking quite closely in a few things. We have spoken, with a number of charity organizations. We'll probably look at something around the Turkey, Syria earthquake, which we paying quite a bit of attention to. But we need to come up with something more concrete that has yet been said. But definitely that's on the horizon for this year. We'll probably look at kicking off something. But we also want to make sure that we get supporting artists on board to do something that's meaningful in that regards.
Excellent. I think we look forward to it. And, Queen's Court, we're doing physical charity events all the time. So maybe you could peruse one of your many warehouses.
Yeah.
Not pressure or anything, David.
What's this course, Queen's Court Spring Charity Drive?
Yeah, that's your feature. We're featuring a collectible straight from David Hughes' collection, private collection.
Hey, David, you have a bunch of stuff in my garage you can give away.
Alex keeps complaining about
I wouldn't say
damn garage, David. Okay. Okay.
More so that it's like a reason to charge more on my paycheck for rent. No.
Negotiating.
Yes.
Negotiating. Do you have that Super Bowl commercial funded and booked yet?
Oh
Alex?
yeah, great. The next 3 years in a row, we have 60-second spots. Fuck 30.
Yeah.
We're doing 60.
Perfect. Can you get the halftime person to flash the barcode up too
Yeah.
while they're dancing, please? So what's going on, Alex? Any did you have a question, a comment, or?
No, just wanted to say great space. Thank you for holding this. Always great to hear from Boss Man. So, solid A on the space. I give David a solid B+ on responses. But that's okay.
Wait, why? What affected his grade? Was it the Lambo giveaway?
Yes, in fact, that's one of the things, and that I just found out about that just now. But also, just a couple of minor points of clarification, because I know I'm already getting hit on Twitter about two things in particular. The Veve letters drops, that is 100% tied to the waitlist functionality.
Yes.
So that is not a matter of us not delivering them.
Okay.
They're all fully, that is contingent on the waitlist, in which the last community update was said
Alex,
that
you go over
was
that.
the
I wanna
next
get some water.
highest priority after MCP. So MCP, as you know, code base went into release with the last app release, and so the beta testing is now beginning on that. And so as soon as that's certified and shipped, waitlist will then be the next on the priority list. So everybody who attended the Decon kickoff party last year will get their letters as promised.
Cool. Are those old style or new style letters? I'm just curious.
Always new style. The beautiful new style logo that is now the logo. The old logo is just that. The old
Is it
logo.
trademarked?
Yeah.
Is it trademarked?
Yeah. Also, quickly on the point about Disney utility and the question you asked about announcing all of that stuff up front. Yes, so Disney and Marvel are definitely very particular in how they approach those things and announcing things up front, etc. That doesn't mean that that is off the table for good. So I know the question was in particular leaning towards older collectibles like Golden Moments, etc. I wouldn't say that it is off the table. The discussions continue, and we're just really trying to find ways, in addition to what David mentioned about having, within the Veve ecosystem, having utility, etc. Really looking towards what other functionality we can introduce that would offer some level of utility, right? And what that utility is remains to be seen. It's probably not something that we've done yet. Probably not something like an airdrop or allow list, etc. But it may take a while, but it's a work in progress, not off the table.
Understand. So maybe something like if you own it, you could be on a wait list for something else or something like that in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I said probably not like that immediately, but I'm sure that is definitely one of the things that we pitch in terms of our available types of utility, right? And there are things that we haven't conceived of yet that are in discussions about things that we'd love to see in terms of utility with any kind of collectible that has been dropped, and if a licensor has reservations about doing retroactive utility for it. But there's plenty of functionality in the works from a development standpoint that will allow us to be a little more flexible in that regard.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for those points of clarification.
But otherwise, great job.
So, no, thank you. Well, one of us got a name. Thank you. Well, just kind of in closing then, to keep on time, we did really great. 8:58.
2 hours.
David, like I said, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It took a while. Like I said, it took a while to get our schedules kind of coordinated, etc. But, thank you for coming through. Good timing, just great timing right now. Lots of, I think, really pertinent information that's really been on the community's mind, at least, in the Twitter sphere. And, just really appreciate you taking the time and, there's probably going to be a time. Well, hopefully, there's going to be a time when you're too busy to do these things. You'll say, So, but I'm glad for now that you're not, and we appreciate hearing straight from the horse's mouth.
Thanks for having me on, and hopefully that help answer a few questions or hurdles or the fans out there have, and just keep in mind, we're not a perfect company like every other company out there. There's things that we prioritize might not seem to be as important to one or another, but we certainly are trying to get to every single issue, problems, and try to resolve. We do hear what our fans want. We try to build everything. So this is like the one app, for everyone. And it takes time. And hopefully the community will keep staying with us and to build this together with us. There's a lot of exciting times to come. I mean, we're seeing a lot of new technology and the movement around even in AI we have seen in the space in the past weeks. And hopefully we'll do our best to deliver all our promises out there and on time as well. So thanks for having me, and thanks again.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who listened, and we will see you all next Wednesday. And with that, we're gonna let Will with the NFTs take us out.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Well, okay, so I have a bunch of stuff that we have to go over today. Obviously, the space just ended, so we're going to let a lot of other people get here first. Okay, first let me catch up on comments, because it's been about an hour and a half since I caught up on those comments. So let's see what we got here. What we got? Okay, here we go. Duffcast is exactly only part of the program that Disney runs. Where is that? They are doing the metaverse. That David answered that Disney is building with Veve. So yeah, we'll start with this one first. Them going and them addressing Disney's Disneyverse. Based on what David said, it seemed very, very likely that was at least one version of theirs will be built with Veve. I mean, again, Veve is the ones that is taking the hands of all of these major companies, talking to and be advised, David is not just talking with one or two people at Disney. Oh yeah, this is our Disney contact. No, they're talking with like dozens and dozens of just executives every week on the stuff that they're doing. So it would be, I would say, people would be greatly underestimating if they think that Veve does not have a hand in that particular area. Again, is this confirmed by David? No, he just hinted at it. I mean, he hinted at Pokemon pretty heavily, and we'll get to that later down the line. That's part that I'm most excited for. But yeah, what they did in Polygon is Disney's India leg just built a little showroom for cricket. Now, granted, cricket is one of the most watched sports in the world. I think it's number 2 or 3. Obviously, Sachin Tendulkar is like the big one over there. Like that is the Michael Jordan of cricket. That is the Tom Brady is greatest of all time. And that this whole documentary is made about him. That entire thing will probably do okay, and that will be people's first. If people go and they take a look at what the Disney's India leg did, and they go and say, "Oh, this is pretty cool. This is a showroom. It's in virtual reality." They're going to be absolutely mind-fudged when they take a look at what Cavernous built for the Veveverse. If they're impressed by that, which they might be, they are going to be their mind will be blown. Their fuzzy little heads will explode. That is how amazing. Again, we've seen parts of it. Anyhow, moving on. And I'm not talking about the showroom. I'm not talking about that home space with the like. That is obviously that's one thing that looks very similar to Spatial. Yeah, ours is gonna be ridiculous. The Facet says, "What was that noise? I had a burp. I belched." Facet says, "No golden moment. Disney 100th anniversary airdrop." Probably not. I mean, even Alex came on at the end and said it's not off the table just as of right now. Again, they weren't, and most of these were not intended with any real utility. I mean, for the golden moments in general, that first week, yeah, you got either a few months or a year's worth of what do you call it? Disney Plus. So we're doing a lot of those Disney Pluses. By getting a lot of those, that was a form of utility there. But I mean, in general, I mean, what do people want? Like, what type of utility do they think that they're going to get that's going to be conscious to them? Either way, the fact that even though it's not something that I would push for, a lot of people are pushing for it. Disney's obviously hearing us. They're obviously talking about it. This is not necessarily the direction this is not the hill that I would die on, but clearly everyone making a giant fuss about it has caught Disney's attention, and who knows what comes of it. Again, any actual utility, I would not expect a free Disneyland pass for the rest of my life. I would expect maybe a certain percentage off concessions or a certain percentage off maybe Disney relate. Like, let's say if Disney World has a Disney verse inside the Veve verse, I'd say, okay, if you have the set of golden moments, maybe you get things at a discounted price within that world. Something like that. I mean, that's all pure profit for them anyway, so it would probably stand to reason that that's the route that they would take. But again, that's just my opinion. Just Snowflake says, no, JK, maybe platinum. We might get a I mean, again, David had mentioned the 100-year anniversary, that they're working with Disney to do things for the 100-year anniversary. Obviously, we've already had that with Oswald. He mentioned Oswald being a grail. Obviously, he didn't know exactly what they were talking. He didn't know that people took his tweets that seriously. I think he should have known when about a year ago I was like, "Hey, David, what's with the skulls?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just people that I didn't know that was for laughing." And and that they said, like, I'm the old guy in the company, and he was just, like, again, the skulls are that was an inside joke at Veve. But clearly from then he should have known that people take every tweet he says seriously. But either way, he's still very proud of Steamboat Willie. He's very proud of the Oswald. I'm proud of that as well. But yeah, the platinum things, like we'll probably get a platinum, maybe Mickey drop or something. We'll see. Yes, the Facer, Omi is still climbing. Omi actually went up above 11%. I do know how people like to chase those green candles, and again, 11%. In hindsight, if this happens to go over like 30%, like, oh yeah, why didn't you buy when it was just 11%? You know how crypto can run, and yeah, fair point. I do know how crypto can run. We're going to take a look at Omi right now and see if it dipped down a little bit. It did. It was 0.000999, now 0.0098, so it did go down a little. Actually, it did break that 0.001 barrier really, really quickly. Had a little bit of a spike, kind of came back down. As long as it stays above 0.0097, I'm fine. Looks like a nice area of support. I think it's pretty cool. Oh god, excuse me. All right, we're gonna take a look at some more comments here. All Chat Gaming, thank you so much for the super chat. That means the world. Says, let's freaking go. That was so exciting. All right, so that was the point. I said 10 push-ups, go. Okay, to the moon, baby. All right. I think this is the point in the chat where he had mentioned Pokemon. I lost my heckin' mind. Why? Because at that point, again, Lori had brought this up a couple months ago on her space, and David said, we're in negotiations with Pokemon, and that was really it. It was kind of just open-ended. But now he had said, like, I think the negotiations are going very well. I think it's only a matter of time. And now now what David said here is that the negotiations, he didn't specify what they were. He didn't specify, like, oh yeah, I have to be really careful what I say. They didn't specify any negotiating tactics. They didn't specify what Pokemon wanted, what maybe Nintendo might have wanted, because Nintendo owns about 33% of Pokemon. He had just said that their main issue is that they're not 100% convinced of, I guess, NFTs as a market as a whole. If you take a look at the big spenders in Pokemon, the big whales like myself, like SM Pratt, Pokerev, like King Pokemon, Gary, what you take a look at is you see they're split down the middle. or actually they're split into about thirds. Or no, maybe they're split into 3 parts. Half of which people in the Pokemon big whales that are spending 6 figures, 7 figures a year on cards, they're indifferent about NFTs. Take it or leave it. There's about a third of people that are, or maybe not that, maybe about 25% of people that are just like, nope, we'll never buy an NFT, won't do it. It's going to ruin the project, like absolute ridiculous, like really out of left field. And then there's 25% of people that are just like, yo, I don't care what they drop. I'm going all in as soon as they release NFTs. So where is the big battle going to be held? Are you going to get some people from that part of the camp of Pokemon that say, I'm never going to buy NFTs, and they're going to eventually buy NFTs? Yes, that will happen eventually with time. You don't necessarily need to market to those people. That right now, that's the high-hanging fruit you don't want to go for. Really what's in that low to mid-range hanging fruit is the people that are like, take it or leave it. Once they see the hype being built around that, they're more apt to come in, and they're more apt in order to spend that big daddy Warbucks money. So that's really, really exciting. The fact that he's mentioned it again, negotiations still ongoing. Even if they were to strike a deal, this year, I would not expect it until next year. And quite possibly might not expect it until 2025. Because of how long these things tend to take. So, yeah. Moving on. Glad I bought more Omi earlier today. Already up. Same fam, same. David Perez says, huge. What happened? I missed it. It says Bean Tech. Talk about Pokemon. These Bream says golden moments to the ground. No, I think golden moments, when he said that all of the, even if Veve, were to fail, that all of these first appearances on the blockchain do go back to the licensor, do go not, and obviously not ours, but the servers and the rights go back to their owner. You think Disney would not want to continue taking that 6% or 6% royalty fee every time one of their sells? They will 100% get on servers, which again, this is pretty much a moot point because obviously Vive's going nowhere. They are the most in the black. I feel like they're one of the only ones in the black, but they're not just like, oh yeah, we broke a little bit of profit. I mean, they're doing, I don't know if they're still doing an average of 1 million gem cells a week. I haven't checked on that. And again, that was only with fiat. I don't know what it's like for crypto pay-in right now. I know people are putting money in. For the crypto pay-in, I don't know if that's necessarily tracked, though. I know there's no way to accurately track how many gems are being cashed out. I wish they would let us know that. They haven't right now. But we do still have that accurate way for the fiat to gem transactions and how to track that. The crypto, I'm not sure. And that's the other thing he mentioned. He said that, yeah, everyone's got a bunch of crypto pay and roll out. That, again, hundreds of people have that. What I didn't know he would mention tonight is the MCP, saying that MCP is in beta currently. I do know 1 or 2 people that do have that. I wasn't going to say anything until they mentioned that, but yeah, that's been out for like a week or 2 now. That a couple of people that I know, and there might be some other people that I don't know that have it as well. Obviously, David had just mentioned that he got his email for it today, so that's really exciting. That's really bullish. Yeah, moving on. Metasquirt says Pokemon. Zave says he's gonna tease. What's he gonna say? I mean, he said it. Metasquirt, he didn't say this year for Pokemon. They've been negotiating for a long time. These negotiations must be intense AF. Pokemon knows that the longer they delay, the less money they make, right? Like, I have to go through a whole video about this, where it goes like, okay, guys, they could have been on Veve already by now. Pokemon could have been on Veve. Pokemon would have been cashing those checks constantly, 6% here, every single sale, if that's what they negotiate at. It could be that they negotiate in a different way, where maybe they get 2% or 4% or whatever it is, but they're constantly going to get something. And yeah, it's pretty heckin' amazing. But it's not. I would not say, maybe they get the partnership and they get all the things signed this year, but I would not say. I would not expect them on the app this year. Felipe B, medicine. What? Feesh says, what is he saying? Randy, repeat it. Oh, too late now. Metascore says Yu-Gi-Oh. All right, so yeah, David is saying that the March. Apparently March Madness is coming. No, not the basketball March Madness, just a bunch of people going on David saying, have your gems ready for March. He said he doesn't necessarily know if those particular properties that are coming to Veve platform in March do have movies coming out. So it's probably not Transformers, because Transformer does have a movie coming out, but that's going to be pretty legit. Oh, I should have asked about the Marvel Mighties. I should have messaged Lori and gave her a bump. Yep, marketing. Okay, cool. Moving on. Oh, Astro Boy would be good too. Yeah, Oswald Pump. News Now Marijuana says buying another Steamboat Willie as we speak, or as he speaks. David just called it first appearance Steamboat Willie, but that's not what the app says. I mean, yeah, I agree that Steamboat Willie should be a first appearance. It's not, but it should be. Again, that's just my opinion. Viviversity, what's going on? So she's asking great questions. Really glad you brought that up. Yes, I think we were talking about Spider-Man. Okay, so David addressed the 17,000 Spider-Man amongst another 900,000 to 1 million accounts that were bot accounts. So yeah, 17,000 of those are locked up. Those Spider-Man, those are on bot accounts. And now David said that another 900,000 to 1 million accounts that were bot accounts were completely swept up, like frozen, commandeered. Figure even if each one has one collectible in it, how many tokens have we mint? What do we have, like 8 million collectibles? And we're saying that 1 million of those, 1/8, are just wiped off the face of the earth? And that's if everyone just has one collectible in it. You know that multiple people have dozens, if not hundreds. How many millions, minimum 1 million collectibles are, but it's definitely probably in the millions. I wish we could go through that data and find out what tokens are where, because that is absolutely insane. Like, that is how scarce are our collectibles? How many of these that have been botted to heck, where they had 18,000 mints, but like 12,000 of them are in bot accounts. So there's really only 6. Like, how many of those are there? This is insane. I don't know. I would honestly think, even though it sucks that it happened to this one because the movies are trash, the Eternals, that those Marvel Mighties, the ultra rares had like 4,000 something. Probably what, half of them were probably botted. Oh God, could you imagine? Could you imagine those ultra rares being super, super scarce right now? Picture a lot of the stuff in late 2021, early 2022, before they recognized that they were bot accounts. And then they commandeered so much. That was millions and tens of millions of dollars that those are just off the table, and nobody's been talking. I don't want to say nobody's been talking about it. It just literally, he just announced that like 30 minutes ago. But that was wild. I have to take a second to just try to wrap my head around that and what they're going to do with it. That's insane. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, minimum 1 million collectibles wiped off the table. Nuts. Lester Suarez says it was free. 500 in a boss wallet. D Supreme says, how come only Spider-Man is not other? There are other NFTs. The Spider-Man was just a question that people had. All Chat Games says, thank you for the stream. Of course. Gene says, you are laughing. Good afternoon, VV Only fam. Also, I don't know why my comments ended there. That's really strange. I'm going to go to the YouTube. And I'm going to go. Ooh, all right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh God, I'm dying. Where was I? Things coming. Oh God. Okay, here we go. D Supreme says, does Gadensi get one also? Yeah, no, he's never getting anything from the community. Castro says D Supreme, LOL. Smarty Pan says, my sound is off. I'm in a meeting. Someone please type any important news. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I guess maybe some people are. Digital Snowflake says, man, David Yu is a good salesman. You could feel his passion when he talks. That's like when women say, like, they love it when people are passionate about something because their eyes light up, and it's like, I mean, I love that too. But yeah, the way that David talks is like, oh, talk all day. Whisper sweet nothings into my ear, David. David Shaman says, what's up, Randy? Yo, what's up, David? How's it going, fam? Alex M says, "Heckin' Pokemon. You know it's eventually coming. Let's go, next bull run." Yeah. Oh God, I literally almost cried when he said that. God, could you imagine? Bill Gardner's like, now for Randy's breakdown. Yeah. Digital Snowflakes card products. Yeah. I mean, again, that's a real issue they have to play with. I mean, how many people are going to want first appearance Bulbasaur? Bulbasaur is number one in the Pokedex and number one in our hearts. I mean, that's God, that piece of lettuce is the cutest freaking thing. You'd have millions of people that want one. I mean, what are they going to give it? Like 500,000? I would take a few. I mean, it depends how many people we have on the app at the time, but people really need to realize that, and I'm sure David knows this probably better than most people, like 99% of people. If he just makes, like let's say 50,000 of these Bulbasaurs, they're going to go for hundreds of dollars, and that market cap. Let's just say it's $100 per Bulbasaur at 50,000. Okay, 10 would be $5. Yeah, that's a $5 million market cap for that Bulbasaur, and that's just at $100. But you have millions of people that are going to want one. First appearance Bulbasaur on the blockchain, and like let's say it's animated and it has like little vines coming out for Vine Whip. Oh my goodness! Let's say it, Leech Seed. Oh my God! Like, could you imagine like Razor Leaf? The amount of things that it could do. That the amount, like they could release Bulbasaur in 5 different forms. I wouldn't give a fudge. You just have it sitting. You could have it look like it's doing a Razor Leaf, a Vine Whip, a Leech Seed, a Solar Beam. Let's go through. Let's just an actual tackle, a Growl. Let's go like Mega Drain. Let's go through all the heckin' moves. Body Slam. Oh, Body Slam is legit in terms of you just sort of like a third chance of paralysis. Ridiculous. They could have him do so many different poses, and each one is, oh my goodness. Could you imagine if Disney buys WWE and suddenly we can get like our own WWE ring, and then have Bulbasaur's body slamming Pikachu? Let the bodies hit the, like, that'd be wild. Let the Bulba hit the sword. Let the Bulba hit the sword. All right, sorry. Moving on here. Zephasia says Rocky. Oh, Rock. I mean, we have Rambo. Why not Rocky? Give us all the Stallone merch. Give me Expendables. Give me that one little soft porn that he was in. Don't give me that. I don't want that. Yeah, this is. I'm trying to think what things so that people grew up with. That's probably people like 40 in their 40s. I wouldn't say in their 30s because, David's a little older and he didn't say that what he grew up with the old, I don't know. Dinosaurs, remember that? Remember them? I'm the baby, you gotta love me, that one. If anyone ever watched that show, that series finale was really dark. I'm just gonna spoil it because it's been around for 30 years. They all die. Remember dinosaurs? Now it was done in a really interesting way where, the climate, they didn't take care of the environment and, chickens come home to roost, but they all die through like the big freeze. They all go and they watch this dude on the news talk about how the cold is coming, and that's the series finale. It's wild. But yeah, there's some other things that could be God. Someone mentioned Astro Boy before. Oh God. He did mention anime. So let's talk about anime real quick. And he said, speaking of Dragon Ball Z. Speaking of which, he said that unfortunately with Dragon Ball Z, you have so many. You have Funimation, you have Akira Toriyama, you have the writers. All of it own a piece of Dragon Ball Z and the rights in a certain way. So what David has to do is he has to go to like Toei Animation, he has to go to Funimation, he has to go to like Tokyo Pop, again, the writers, Akira Toriyama's got all these people, and all of them have to sign off on it. And he's not saying that it's not possible. He's not saying that it won't get done. I'm sure it'll get done, and David would not have talked about it. He would not have brought it up unless there was progress being made. I guarantee you, he would not have brought up Dragon Ball Z and talked about it unless there was progress being made. So yeah. Oh, my body. Okay. Moving on here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Studio Ghibli would be great too. My Neighbor Totoro. A bunch of those early anime stuff is really dope. Dark Chaos says, big things coming. Heck yeah, it is. Les Suarez says, yo, Rand, come to Tampa. Let's go to the con. Yeah, that's all right. So David mentioned about traveling for in-person events. He said it might be coming to a state or a country near you. So last year they did have the other countries they had were Singapore and London in the UK. Alex mentioned that London might be off the table for this year, so that's a little disappointing. But you have they did mention a couple of other things, so I don't know where they might go. They might go to Germany. That'd be cool. And again, he did not say Germany. I'm just thinking of places that are really popular, where they have a lot of fans. Germany, I don't think you'd want to go to Ukraine right now. They used to have an office over there, but again, kind of a war-torn country. Yo, Veve fan. No, never mind. South America. I mean, if David's going to go to like Mexico, I'd really want him to go and have a whole bunch of security. Like I'd volunteer as tribute to go with him. But probably Australia. I think that would be really cool. Maybe one thing in South America, although Mexico's in North America. South America, where'd you go? Brazil? God, I really don't. Guys, if anyone's going to like a South American country, please just stay at a resort, and don't leave that. I don't know. I don't know if I would go to any places in South America. Yeah. Europe, all of Europe would be great. They could do a whole Euro tour. Vienna would be fun. Where'd be a good place in Germany? Kaiserslautern is pretty cool. There's not a ton of people there though, and the internet's not that good. Vienna's pretty legit. Anyway, so we're gonna go, but they are talking about it. We still don't have dates, and I really would like to, book some vacations. But anyway, the incorrigible Goat Slayer says, would love for them to come to MegaCon in Orlando. Could onboard a good bit of people. Yeah, it'd be dope. Biddy Mon says, Queen did a good job. It would be nice to get one solid exchange this year. Hopefully we don't lose any of the exchanges that we currently have for reasons X, Y, and Z. The only reason I would worry about losing an exchange is just because, the FTX investigation goes on and says, oh, hey, Bit4X or AscendX, as examples, AscendX might have invested into FTX, and then they say, yeah, you guys get shut down. And that's the only way I think we could lose an exchange. They're not going to delist it. But again, I'm telling you guys now, and David. So speaking of exchanges, David mentioned them. Officially, the official reason we're not on exchanges, as per David, is that he had said that exchanges want a lot ever since FTX went down, Terra Luna, all that. He's basically saying that they want to know a bunch of different stuff. It takes a lot. It takes a while to do things. The paperwork is a lot. That is the official response from David, and I'm going to leave it at that. Any other speculation is just that, speculation, and I cannot comment. Moving on. Where was I? Joe Hugster says the lawsuit I keep hearing about from the community was brought up in the AMA. Lawsuit was not. I don't think that even if David was asked, he could even respond to an ongoing lawsuit case. I don't think you're allowed to talk about that. So that's probably why not. MBZ, he said they would be talking at the trade shows this year or no. I mean, he didn't really mention any locations, but yeah, we'll keep you posted. Jared Salsa says people will only come if they know they'll make money. False. I mean, you didn't collect Pokemon cards back in the day to make money. I mean, some probably did. And nowadays, I mean, when I got back into Pokemon at first, it wasn't to make money. It's just because I wanted really niche things. I wanted really one-of-a-kind item, perfect things. And only after I got, my autism kicked in and I obsessed with the sales data did I realize, oh, you can make a fudge ton of money in these. So that's what I did. Yeah. But again, it's going to have a bunch of people in it. I mean, a lot of people just want to play the games. A lot of people just think it's cute. My ex-girlfriend didn't get into the Myrmicornos because she thought Myrmicornos are going to pump to the moon. So they were cute. Why do I have the whole set of Cryptkins? I don't think, my Bigfoot is going to make me $1 million. I don't think my Bigfoot is going to make me $200. I like the Bigfoot because it's cute. I like the Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. I like that because it's cute, and I love the supernatural, and I love cryptozoic stuff. Again, I don't have the Myrmicornos because I think, oh, we're gonna have an inside gambling ring of Mermicornos and like a fight club. Like, I don't think they're going to make me a bunch of money. I like them because they're cute. So again, are we going to, would certain people only invest if they could make money? Absolutely. But to say that people will only come if they know they'll make money is proven false. JMet08 says, come to Broward County, Florida. I'll treat you to some drinks. I do love Florida, and I do want to move there, and I might be moving there with a friendo at some point, maybe 2 friendos, maybe a bunch of friendos. I'll keep you posted. But I'd probably live in the Orlando area, I would hope. Mr. Planet Prophet says, smash the thumbs up, guys. Don't forget. Thank you, Mr. Planet Prophet. Smash that like button. Thank you for 60 likes. Let's get us to 69 likes. That'll be fun. D Supreme says, Demon Slayer movie's coming out in March. Well, David didn't mention, he even specifically said, I don't know if these IPs have any new movies coming out. So, I mean, oh God, what's coming out? Is it Japanese stuff? Is it animes and manga? Fruits Basket would be dope. My Hero Academia. Oh my God, Attack on Titan. Fairy Tail. I go on days talking about anime. Andrew Detox says, imagine how much money Botters lost. Yeah, millions, especially at the top, especially at the height. J Matt says, I'm whitelisted for crypto pay-in. Believe in the process. Good things come in time. Oh yeah, I'm just another broke investor that believes in this project. Same thing. Same. Super Duper Hank, what's going on? Says, Lori is an excellent interviewer. She asks really good questions, clearly the best in the business. Now, in regards to the interview, it was good, much better than the last update. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like instead of just doing a rehearsed community update, just let me or Lori just, ask questions. That would really go and get a lot of people. That would just get, like I said, I mean, granted, the community updates, the videos are only like 45 minutes. So let's say they do it for an hour before they cut stuff out, maybe an hour and a half. And this took, 2 hours. So, took a while. J Met says, working overtime to become a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. Same. Yeah, shout out to Laura for the interview. Doing a great job. Super Duper Hank says, I'm excited for where Veve is going, and Pokemon is coming to Veve. Not confirmed yet. The deal, to our knowledge, our public knowledge, is not done. They're still negotiating, but it's, if you said, gun to my head, Chavez, is Pokemon going to come to Veve? Most likely. I'm just going to put that in most likely. Not a done deal. Not that we know officially, but yeah, most likely. This is all good stuff for Veve, and collectors should be happy for what's to come. Heck yeah, it is. Super Duper Hank says, now in regards to Omi, it took a lot to get him to talk about the token. Exchanges are coming, I hope, but I would not be surprised if not one exchange happens today. Yeah, I would say... second half of the... I bet you we get one. I bet you we get one exchange. Which exchange is it? I don't know. But David even said they said they're focused on like the top 4 or 5 exchanges, which is a little, I don't want to say concerning, it's interesting, is because why would you just be on those exchanges? Why wouldn't you be on like 40 of them? I mean, the main ones are the ones that you want, and that mostly matters, but I mean, you have stuff like Floki, you have stuff like, you have a bunch of stuff that's on exchanges, like there's, and again, maybe the reason why Floki's on a couple of lower tier exchanges is because they can't get on the higher exchanges. But yeah, I would say if you take a look at the amount of money that goes through Binance, Coinbase, and a couple of others, the other smaller ones are just going to be minuscule. Again, just my opinion. But yeah, Omi, like I said, I have 153.3 million, and I'm probably going to get a little bit more, depending on what the price is. I mean, if it goes to 003, maybe I'll sell $1 million, and I'll get $3,000, or maybe I'll sell 300,000 and I'll get like 900. But I don't know. I'll keep y'all posted. Ooh, where was I? Mr. Planet Prophet says Eternals to the moon. I don't know, man. I don't know if Eternals are going to the moon. I don't think so. That we did. But again, if if you have a bunch of those that were botted and there's really not a ton of them, they could be super scarce. We just don't know yet. We have to get someone like maybe Rootless Girl or Omi Daily Burn, whatever, to take a look at that data and go through it with the blockchain for us. Super Duper Hank says, I'm not buying the whole, forgot to sign the DocuSign because we were traveling, thus didn't get listed on exchange. I know what I heard. I called BS on that. I mean, it is possible. And again, that particular data point is not why we're on, is not an excuse for current exchanges. That was just why we weren't listed on a particular one with FTX, most likely. Super Hank says, anyway, 7 out of 10 interview. Hope Lori invites them for another interview after the summer. I'll be watching from the sidelines, but I am now somewhat bullish on Omi and Veve. I've always been bullish. But yeah, I love the interview. I think it was great. I think he answered pretty much everything that most people had. Do away with a lot of the FUD. Of course, there'll be people that'll try to FUD anyway. Like, you either believe in Veve or you don't. I definitely believe, and I literally put my money where my mouth is. Bill Gardner says the bots were like an extra burn mechanism. Dude, the bots were an insane burn mechanism, and we didn't know it at the time, but probably one of the best things that could have happened. Because now a lot of the stuff is super, super scarce. Planet Vampire says Storm Secret Rare only had 1,500 mints. I wonder how many bots got. So many of those types of drops, yeah. Even if the bots the bots were most users. There might only be 500 Secret Rare storms. We don't know. Oh god, that'd be amazing. I don't have any Secret Rare storms, but no. Darth Chaos says everything just became scarce, and God. Darth Chaos says, I'm sorry, Lester Suarez says, Randy for president. You better come to Tampa, grr. When I do move to Florida, I'll probably be Orlando. It might be West Palm Beach. Probably Orlando. The West Palm Beach kind of got put in my head when I was dating my ex back in the day. Not back in the day, it was last year. It is a nice place, but yeah, I like Orlando. I like Harry Potter World. I like Disney. I'll be there a lot. Alex said, bots save Veve. No, bots definitely didn't save it. Bots helped make it a lot of money. Bots are definitely helping us now because a lot of what they got has been commandeered, and it's non-circulating supply. So yeah. Suarez says, let the bodies hit the floor. Darth Chaos says, dinosaurs, yes. That was so good. Oh god, we're getting to that. Yeah. PlanetVampire.com says, if we're doing 80s characters, we also need Alf. Can eat the Cheshire Cat. Yeah, 80s was a hell of a time, man. Obviously, we already have that. Could we get like Breakfast Club NFTs? Breakfast Club NFTs would be dope. Anyone ever see Breakfast at Tiffany's? Audrey Hepburn. Movie's great. Mickey Rooney as the old Asian dude, hysterical. 16 Candles. St. Elmo's Fire. Like, you have a really lot of good quality movies in the 80s that we all grew up with in the 90s and stuff, and people would really want to. I would love some of that. Anywho, it'd be kind of hard for the younger generation because I don't know, who is the younger generation's Molly Ringwald? If we're going with, I just had mentioned Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey Hepburn is like our generation, the 80s generation of Molly Ringwald, and or their generation's Audrey Hepburn. So who is? There's some people that know Emma Watson as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and they don't know her as Hermione. I was like, oh, my heart. I don't know if we really have. Reese Witherspoon's in a lot. Emma Stone's in a lot. I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence been in X-Men. She's been in, what's that? I forget the name of those movies. Hunger Games. And she's been she's been a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know who Jennifer Lawrence is such a sweetheart. She's such a nice gal. I don't know her personally. Somebody else I know worked with her. Anywho, Okay, it's Alf. Mr. Planet Prophet says, Lambo, let's go. Oh, yeah, so he did. Shout out to Lori for trying to ask. Oh, yeah, what did you say the mint price was? What is that? So he didn't say the mint price. All right, so shout out to Crypto Rain, because David had mentioned everyone who had supported us from OMI in the beginning in 2017, 2018, that invested in OMI, that helped us out. You're going to be emailed a code that you can get a secret rare. And he did say the Lambos would be super, super scarce. How many of them are we going to get? I don't know. Like, let's say it's $80 per blind box, because again, it is a high class car, A1, tier one, and let's say there's 3,000 of them total. That's what, $240,000. I mean, how much is the price for a real Lambo? It's in the six figures. So yeah, I would say that's pretty good. Let's say you have like I don't know, like 1,200, or 1,200 common, like 800, maybe 2,500. Maybe that might be better. That would be about $200,000. And you get, let's say 1,250 of the common, 600 something of the 600 something for the uncommon. I mean, maybe less than that. Maybe, I mean, it could be super scarce. I don't know. I mean, 2,000 is not a ton. So we could do something like that as well. I'll keep you guys posted. He said we should get the Medium article tomorrow. I don't know why we get it tomorrow when it's on Sunday. I would think maybe get it Friday, but I'm game. I'm fine with that. Keep everyone posted. And he did say it would be super scarce, but yeah, Crypto Rain, I think Brock Blockchain, a bunch of people that got those, that invested in the original launch of the token are getting that secret rare, as they should. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. I didn't know about this at that time. Brandon M says, my opinion, it's best that they don't talk much about OMI. All we need is crypto community accusing them of potential manipulation pumping. That's a fair point. Lori! Hey girl, what's going on? Saying, hey everyone, Mr. Planet Prophet. What up? Says Randy, you got any Matic? I do. It's like $8 worth. The only reason I got some was to list my David U on OpenSea. All right, so here's something else I didn't know. The David U, I won in a giveaway, like the golden David U. I won it in a giveaway, and I thought there were only maybe like 50 of these or whatever. And I looked at the floor price on OpenSea, and it was like, like $900. Like, oh, I'll put it up for $800. Maybe it'll sell. I'll put it up, and then someone undercut me, so I put it up for like $700. And then somebody realized, Randy, are you trying to rip off the community? I was like, no, like, why? I was like, well, like, you could just go and buy a golden David U from the Epico marketplace. And I was like, oh, okay, they're in the secondary market. Okay, how much are they? And I take a look, and it's not that they're even in the secondary market. You could literally buy them for like 100-something thousand gems. It's literally like 100-something dollars. And it's like straight from the store. Like, they didn't sell out. I was like, ugh. So in case you saw that, me post that on Twitter, I didn't know that Epico had that in their marketplace. I was only looking at the floor on OpenSea. Anyway, I just figured I'd clear the air on that. Moving on. Lloyd Brenner says, hey everyone. But yeah, so the only reason I got Matic was to list that. Was really just to list that golden David U. Lloyd Brenner says, 7. Wow, Hank, that hurts. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a great interview. Bogart says, great interview, Lori. Portfolio says, isn't there a cutoff date for merge accounts? I don't know. I don't think so. There might be though, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Joe Hoaxer says $7,000 secret rare Spider-Man or Omi. Your thoughts? All right, take a swig of water for this. I mean, how many of those secret rare Spider-Man are in bots accounts? 100. I mean, out of the 1,000, 90 were kept by Veve, so it's really only 910. Let's say another 10%. Let's say another 10% of those were bots. I mean, there could potentially be only 820. Honestly, that Spider-Man is stupid undervalued. We could potentially see, I mean, 7K right now, that'll 10x in the bull market easily. I'll say that again. That $7,000 you put into that secret rare Spider-Man right now will easily 10x in the next bull market, but probably 20x, more likely. Now, that being said, what is Omi going to do? I see Omi doing a 90-ish X, 100X. So I think the better ROI will be for Omi. But, you know, like, you have Omi, cool, good for you. How is that going to play into the cool factor? How is that going to play in showing off to people? I mean, what are you just going to do? Walk around and have like your Omi balance tattooed on your forehead? No, that's silly. You can't. I don't think you're going to be able to flex how much Omi you have in the Veve home space, in the Veveverse. But you are going to be able to flex your Spider-Man. So I definitely think cool points. There is something to that. But for me, I'm all about ROI. That's why I sold my Secret Rare Spider-Man for Omi. Moving on. The Incorrigible Goat Slayer says, I'm in Orlando, Randy, and I'm a Universal Pass holder. You move down. We VVing the city. Get that bread. Lester says, respect, my bro. I'll be more than happy to show you around my city. That I've been here for 33 years. Whoa, yes. We'll take you up on that. Michael Little says, amazing interview. This Planet Prophet says, I heard no comments. No comments for what? No comments for what? Lori Brenner says, yes, there is. Oh, April 30th for the merge account. Okay, all right. So April 30th is the merge account date. Really? Okay, so I'll make a video about that. There's so much that we have to do in making this video. Making a bunch of videos. I don't think I'll be able to go live tomorrow. I might be able to just do one particular video. I do have something going on tomorrow. I do have something going on late the end of February into early March. I don't know how much I'm going to be on YouTube. I have a bunch of things going on, so I'll keep you posted. Bill Gardner says, makes me wonder how many Steamboat Willie Ultra Rares are in bot accounts. That's a good point. I couldn't even get that drop because of all the bots. That's true. Bill Gardner says, we need Omi Daily Burn analysis on these accounts so we can get a better understanding on what's locked up. Yes, we do. This is Planet Prophet. It says, drive. AB says, miss spaces. I heard Dan danced around on the exchange questions and a missed DocuSign. Well, it was David that was talking, not Dan. Yeah, David purports that and honestly, I do believe this to be true, is that the reason they weren't listed on a certain exchange that went down, most likely FTX, again, can't really say much on it, is that while he was traveling, just forgot to sign a DocuSign, missed something, and then it happened to go down. So apparently, when they were supposed to go on FTX, it was really close to the point where they were going to list, and it was really close to the point where FTX actually collapsed. So thankfully he didn't. Thankfully he didn't do that, because again, then Omi would have gotten wrecked like a mother flapper. So yeah. Lester Suarez says, my favorite independent YouTuber, Randy Coin to the moon. I mean, I don't have my own coin. I should probably remove Dashi for. I had Dashi on eBay, I think, for like 50 grand. I should probably remove Dashi for sale. I don't necessarily need the money for Dashi. I mean, if someone wants to buy 50 grand for Dashi, yeah, I'll accept. But if it's like, again, I've gotten offers 10K. I'm not entertaining that. If it's tens of thousands, maybe we'll talk. But I don't know. But for Randy Coin, I don't necessarily have a. I've debated about trying to do something like that, trying to give something utility. It's really hard because it would cost a lot of my time, and it would, to continue on trying to do that. Like, what happens if I die? Like, what happens if I, get unalived? Like, they Jeffrey Epstein me somehow, and then, you're left holding this bag of Randy coins. I don't know. That's why I invest in other things like Omi and Bump Coin and Fart Token. Yeah. Moving on. AB says, how convenient. Les Suarez says, remove Dashi and make an IPO for Dashi Coin, bro. Oh, Dashi, it was spelled with a Y at the end. But yeah, I would say I need to find some utility for it. It can't just be like, yo, Dashi Coin. It needs to have like a Dashi game, and it needs to have like a bunch of fun stuff. That is one of my pet projects that I'll do at some point. And it'll just be for the community. It won't really be to make a bunch of money. I mean, not for me. I'll have a bunch of tokens, and then I could just use it for a game. It'll be probably like play to burn, play to earn. Have a bunch of tokens in dev wallet probably. I'll keep you posted. Bill Garner says that had to be a real eye opener for David, and I see why he is so cautious. Same. Dashi coin, yeah. Ms. Pine says NFT collection. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're, I'll explain this. How can I put this in a way that people can understand? Okay, if you're that close to signing with an exchange that we're literally about to list OMI, and then the thing literally explodes, you're gonna have PTSD from that. I know because a buddy of mine that was in Iraq happened to go step out of a hole, literally was a couple of inches off of a mine, falls backwards to avoid stepping on it. The mine does explode, and he's like, oh, I want to go home. Literally inches away from death. Dude is pretty bad PTSD now. I could imagine that losing billions of dollars, or let's say hundreds of millions, OMI's not worth billions yet, losing, hundreds of millions of dollars or potential because you got on an exchange that collapsed. Yeah, that's got to be fairly akin to like to losing 7 figures is not fun. Losing 8 figures or 9 figures is probably even less fun. Losing 7 figures, like, okay, it's on paper. I never sold, I'm continuing hodling dollar cost averaging. I view it as a good thing. But losing a large amount of money like that, I don't know if I'd be able to do and still be okay. Again, just letting y'all know. Where was I? Ms. Planet Rob says NFT collection. Mm-hmm. Bill Gardner says, then we have something to remember you by. Y'all have like hundreds of hours of YouTube stuff to remember me by. But yeah, no, I agree. I should have some type of Randy and Dashi coin. I'll keep you posted. Les Suarez says, you can be the one, bro. I'll support if you die. Your people will acquire it. Yes. Brandon M says Dashi NFT. Oh, that'd be dope. It'd be like, all right, make a bunch of Dashi NFTs, make a bunch of Dashi coin. The only way you could play the game is by using a Dashi NFT and then using the Dashi coin as in-game currency. Like you get, you get like 1 or 3 free lives each game, and then if you want to continue on with that game, having the score keep going up, you have to put in more Dashi coin or something like that. Yeah, maybe like 10 cents per try, 10 cents per. But let's say if Dashi coin's like, well, what if Dashi coin's $1? Okay, well then 1/10 of a Dashi coin, something like that. Yeah, something like that. A Dashi Feesh NFT, that'd be dope. Les Suarez says Dashi crypto NFT to the moon. We can make both and make use cases. Again, these ideas were just off the top of my head, but I really do like those ideas. I really do. AB says, does part of you feel like Akomi isn't important for them? No, not at all. Again, I know them, and we've talked about it. OMI is a very important part to them. Like again, maybe you haven't been here. OMI is a very important part to their future. It says I can't see why we aren't on more exchanges than we are in 4 or 5 years. I can't really speak on that. The official response from David is that they are, exchanges are requiring more things, and it's a lot of paperwork. And that's the official response from David. That's really all I can talk about. Yeah. Moving on. Oh, that was it. Okay, cool beans. I've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna bounce. But thank you all for coming here. Also, Gaming, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. You can't get me to 69 likes. You can't get me to 69 likes. I'm dying. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Bye, Bill Gardner. All right, I love you guys. Bye. Meow. Where am I? Okay. Here. Oh, God, I haven't been on my phone in a while. Okay. How do I? Seriously, how do I end this? Oh, okay. I had a thing. Okay. X. Stop streaming. Meow, Randy.